Good evening, everybody, and welcome to ESChamp. Thank you for tuning in to day 3 of ProBots. It has been an exciting tournament so far. We are moving into the lower bracket here very shortly, so thanks for joining us. A couple little plugs real quick. You can check out our forum if you want to keep up to date with what is going on ESChamp, and as far as ProBots is concerned at the time being, type in !community in the chat there. You can also become a Crown Club member. It is the best way to support ESChamp and future seasons of ProBots. And you get a lot of really cool perks as well. You can get some behind-the-scenes content. You can come listen in while we're doing a broadcast, some fun things. So definitely check that out. You can also support us on YouTube. We are now streaming solely to YouTube. So hopefully the transition has been good for everybody. We really enjoy it so far. And you can become a sub there. You'll get access to emotes. You'll get a sub badge. And you'll also get access to the Discord. So yeah, a lot of ways to help out. But we're going to do some ProBots tonight. I am very excited. And let's go ahead and get our co-caster in here. We're joined again by Ketrock once more. One of our bot authors this season as well. You're not playing tonight, right? Yeah, you're next week.
I'm not playing tonight, no.
Yep. Well, it should be fun. Your bot's doing well. Are you thinking you're going to make it pretty far into the tournament, or?
Yeah, it's been exciting. It's actually remotivated me to work on my bot. I've been doing a lot of upgrades, getting ready for my next week's match versus Spiny there. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some awesome matches tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at that bracket. Oh yeah, we're going to do a shout out. I forgot, our Crown Club member is just too awesome to wait any longer. Let's go ahead and shout one out right now. Thank them all.
Fill in the blank.
That is representative of every Crown Club member. Thank you to every single one of you. You just are so awesome. We can't even contain you onto one screen there. So let's go ahead now and take a look at our bracket. We've got some awesome games lined up tonight. We can take a look, I believe, at the full bracket first and see kind of what bots are going on. There it is. So what was your prediction again, Ketrock? You said Micro Machine, right? Or no, you said, who did you say was going to do really well? I don't see the bracket. It's coming up.
Well, I assume it's going to be the lower brackets that's coming up here. There's still some strong bots, very strong bots in there actually. BlinkerBot comes to mind, ThreeWayLover.
Yes.
Kagamine is a staple. And then there's some up and coming bots like ANIbot's looking really good. Snowbot, really crushing it on the ladder. So it definitely would not be a...
All right, well, you can use your imagination for now, I guess.
Bots make it all the way to the finals.
Yeah. Yeah, you did get a little quiet there, Ketrock. Check your mic level. But you can check out the bracket on the community page on the forum there. Is a good place to get that. We'll have it up for you very shortly. We're all experiencing some technical difficulties tonight, so ride with us as we bear the storm here. But... yeah, it's going to be a fun night of games. We do have ThreeWayLover coming up first, actually. You mentioned him. It's, I believe, against OneBaseBc. And now I've got some hope for OneBaseBc. You know, we obviously see the BC early game do pretty well from time to time. Does it do better against bots, do you think, than it does against humans, or worse?
Sorry, I'm trying to fix my mic here.
Oh, is it still cutting out? Oh, just how you think OneBase battlecruiser build does against bots versus humans, essentially.
Yeah,
which do you think it's more effective
he's
against?
Up against Straylock, is that right?
Oh, is he up against Straylock first?
Oh, is it? I don't know. I was guessing. We don't have a bracket. If he is against Straylock, I mean, OneBaseBc, there's two strengths. Is obviously his early attack with the battle cruisers, and obviously since he doesn't expand, he's got a nice defense versus early game cheese. So if he's facing another cheesy bot, I think the OneBaseBc will have the advantage.
Okay. Well, and we could talk a little bit, too, about updates. So actually, only one bot got updates this week. And I believe you're working on updates for yours for next week. So hopefully in the upper bracket, we'll have a few more updated. But ANIbot did some updates this week. Let's see. What did we get for updates here?
I think it just said strategies and bug fixes.
Oh, yep.
So
Okay.
You can make of that what you will.
Pretty generic.
The fact that he says strategy in plural makes me think he's probably choosing what strategies to use against his upcoming opponents, rather than fixing a strategy or making a new strategy.
Oh, that makes sense.
I know he hand selected his strategies to use against my bot in week 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the banter between you two. I love it when the bots have a little bit of personality like that and kind of talk to each other. It's this much closer to sentience. And you say they haven't gained sentience yet. We're not going to know when they've gained sentience because they're going to be smart enough to not let us know. So we're just going to be in real trouble when they do. Anyway, do we have the bracket? It just got real quiet in my ear. No bracket. Okay, so we're going to go into game number 1. I believe we're ready for our first match, and we're going to find out who it is. Roll it. Maybe. Yes. Game number 1. Here we go. And it's going. All right, give us just a moment, everybody. It's coming. I swear. It's coming. All right, so we're going to talk about something else now. Let's talk about some more of these bots. We do have 8 bots going up against each other tonight. Oh, here we go. Just cut me out. That's fine. Just go.
Introduction.
It's coming. All right, we're going old school today in the bottom right corner on Golden Wall, our first match of the night. It is ThreeWayLover by Yamabushi.
And in the bottom left, we have our blue Terran, the OneBaseBc. His name is his strategy. It is OneBaseBc. Who the author is? Do you have that offhand?
Theo, I believe it's right.
Theo,
Thheo,
yes, right.
yeah. Theo.
There's even an underscore in his name. So.
That's all right. So yeah, we know what OneBaseBc is gonna do. I kind of like the simplicity of it. ThreeWayLover though surprised me last week when it didn't take its natural in the third base location. It just took a normal natural. So I wonder if it got some updates that maybe changed that, and maybe trying some new strategies. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, and as strong as a bot as ThreeWayLover is, like possibly the strongest in the lower bracket, we did see that he is vulnerable to the early game cheese. Straylock took him out, I believe, with Proxy Marine last week. So maybe against the OneBaseBc, he'll have just as much trouble. So
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure who's going to win this. Obviously, ThreeWayLover should be the favorite. But
Yeah, ThreeWayLover's just so strong. It can go into the late. I've seen it get into some late game scenarios, and it's just a very strong bot. So if it survives the early cheese, yeah, it should be all right.
Yeah.
Can't hear Ketrock. I heard him. All right, well, hopefully he will be back. So ThreeWayLover just doing its thing here. Cybercore is on the way. It is walling off. Obviously, that's not going to play a huge part in this. Obviously, the high ground, low ground for bots can be a little bit tricky from time to time. But with OneBaseBc, you're going to have a BC. You're going to be able to see the high ground. There's not going to be any issues like that for our Terran. Shouldn't be anyway. I like the bunker edition as well, in case there are, early zealots or an early stalker. Just keeps you safe on one base. If you're going to be on one base, you have to bunker up, essentially. At least that's how I view it. Oh, there we go.
ThreeWayLover.
Yeah. Doing its trademark second base in the third location. Well, that's going to give me a seizure. Jesus. Yeah, choosing the best mineral, scanning the mineral nodes to see which one is the most prime and optimal for mining, I guess. It's the newest addition there to ThreeWayLover. Okay, so I really do like that location for the natural, because again, anything coming straight across, especially on this map, BC is just going to, I would imagine, come straight across the middle there. Isn't even going to go anywhere near that second base location, so should be good. Still no Ketrock? Still no Ketrock. All right, I'm carrying it tonight. I believe in myself. Hello. What else we got coming up? Fusion Core is halfway done. All right, we are going to see the BCs. They are coming. Fear not, everybody. And I can't remember if Yamato gets research, but I feel like it did. I'm trying to remember from a couple weeks prior. We're going to find out here very shortly as that Fusion Core finishes up. And Stalkers have already started to gather there. A Stargate is even done. RoboBay's not going to do a whole lot for this. Obviously, it would be good if the bot was going, say, Micro Machine, has the Cloak Banshees or things like that. It's obviously very good to have the Observer for vision for that. And there it is. Okay, so we are going to see Yamato. I love myself some Yamato. Can one-shot those Stalkers, can pop some Phoenix out of the sky should any Phoenix or Void Rays pop out. I don't think it... Does it kill a Void Ray in one hit? I think it kills a Void Ray in one hit.
Yeah, I believe it does.
Yeah.
How's my audio? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome back. We missed you.
Okay.
You didn't miss a whole lot. I can hear you for the most part. But I guess... Or yell. Just shoutcast it. Just yell at your mic and it should work just fine. Either way, there's a fleet beacon on the way. So I want to say Tempest is obviously going to be the ideal choice here, but we'll see if ThreeWayLover goes for it. I'm pretty sure ThreeWayLover has done Tempest builds in the past, if I recall correctly, but I'm not sure. And Stalker's going to poke in. Here's where those bunkers do come in just ultra handy here. No pressure whatsoever is going to be able to get through that for quite some time. So ThreeWayLover is just going to keep expanding, actually. Interesting. Really going to take off in the... So basically, if these BCs don't just flat out kill ThreeWayLover is just going to be in a beautiful spot. All right. Observer is out. Keep an eye on things. And there we go. Tempest, yeah. Tempest going to obviously do very well against the massive air unit that is the Battlecruiser. I believe it takes a Yamato plus some. Yeah, it takes a Yamato plus some to kill a Tempest there. So it's going to be interesting. He doesn't really have those Marines or even Vikings to kind of follow up the kill, essentially. So, yeah, it'll be nice if he can Yamato the Tempest, but if they don't die, then it's just kind of a waste of Yamato in the end. So here we go. 2 BCs finish and instantly teleport over to the Nexus. We're going to see some probes die. The first Tempest is out. Flees for its life. Needs to stay out of range. So far, it's done a good job. The BC is just tearing through 2 Stalkers. And the Tempest is going to continue to kite as long as it can. Some nice micro, but the BCs are catching up. They are closing in. Oh, I think that Tempest is done. Doesn't even need to use the Yamato. Interesting that it just doesn't even bother with it, essentially. I figured it would relish the chance to lobby Yamato at one of those Tempests. Here we go. Another Tempest does come out. One of the BCs is so low. Let's see if ThreeWayLover... Oh, the wounded one goes forward. ThreeWayLover doesn't even have to target it. It's just going to pick it off. Very nice there. Some probes trying to get down, but it looks like they're blocked. Is that a... I guess that's a full wall there.
Yeah, that's a full wall.
Yeah, ThreeWayLover screwing up a little. Ooh, now you're nice and loud.
Okay, that's good.
There we go.
Cranked everything I could.
It worked. All right.
Yeah, Tempest, they do bonus to massive units, and they get to abuse that range, and they can survive one Yamato. So it's really like the perfect counter to this BC rush we got going on here.
Yeah.
ThreeWayLover really rushed him out. They got this super early Tempest. Not messing around at all.
So your mic's doing the thing where it's really loud, but then it's really quiet, but then it's really loud again, but then it gets really quiet again?
It's got to be a zoom setting.
Yeah, it must be. Maybe it's doing like automatically determine sensitivity somewhere. Oh, another BC goes down. Man, look at that production tab. Yeah, I think ThreeWayLover has this one in the bag. Just with that, the perfect straight to Tempest pretty much. You know, always have a few Stalkers along the way and the Observer, but pretty much straight to only Tempests. And it is just going to absolutely crush OneBaseBc. Obviously, because Tempests just kind of do better than Battlecruisers in the long run here. All right, well, bunkers, this is where they don't shine. You know, they did really good in that early game holding. It's even got 3 of them, so, you know, if a big Zealot charge attack or a bunch of Immortals and Archon, who knows what, you know, came up your ramp. It's going to hold for a long time, but against the Tempest, it's just going to crumble. And that should pretty much do it for game 1 here. You know, a BC could pop out. Oh, actually, it teleported to the other side of the map, but there's 2 Tempests coming out at a time. And they're just like, okay, we'll kill you as we go to the other base here. It's like, okay, now we can go all the way to the other base. It's awesome. ThreeWayLover looking strong. He is going to be able to take down the final bunker. The Marines try to dive on a Tempest, but that does not work out. And yeah, that's gonna be a slow, painful death. So we'll probably fast forward here, I would imagine. Yeah, any BCs that pop out are just gonna, even if they teleport to the other side, there is enough production of Tempest that they're just gonna die and not really get anything accomplished. And we'll see if one even teleports. I can't remember. I'm curious if it waits for 2 every time or if it'll just, no, it does just teleport. Okay, so after the first 2, it'll just consecutively teleport, it looks like, and just send one after the other and try to, you know, keep the snowball effect going if it is got that going on. GG. ThreeWayLover. Yeah. So you were able to watch all that, right? Even though
yeah, I watched it all. It was, I mean, I was looking away a little bit, working on my mic there, but
yeah. Solid. Not much to say other than Tempest beat battlecruisers. Now I'm trying to remember. ThreeWayLover, I believe, chooses a build along the way after it has started, right? Using its scouting information. I can't remember if ThreeWayLover's one of those.
What he chooses.
Oh, does it pre-select? Okay.
Getting a lot of bases and a lot of Tempest is typically his go-to build versus Terran that I know of. It's very difficult for most Terrans, but as we can see, it's even more powerful versus the battlecruiser there, just because Tempest is so strong versus BC.
Yeah. Very, very strong stuff. All right, well, we're getting game number 2 loaded up here. Oh, can we look at the brackets now? Are they working? I would love to take a look at the bracket that we unfortunately could not earlier. He's going to hopefully pull that up. But we do have game 2 loading up as well in the meantime, so hang tight, everybody, and we'll get that rolling in just a minute. Now, obviously, I think ThreeWayLover is very favored after seeing what it just did there. I would imagine in game 2 it's going to do the exact same thing and take a nice 2-0 victory here.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he does mix it up sometimes. Sometimes he goes for a lot of Stalkers opening. Sometimes he does a Robotics opener where he gets some Immortals. Those are things that could change the dynamic of the game. But yeah, I would suspect we're going to see something pretty similar in game 2.
Who knows?
That's also what I'm cheering for. I mean, ThreeWayLover he's a powerful bot. It wouldn't be right if he went out in the early.
Yeah, and this is an elimination match. So whoever loses this one is out of the tournament. Again, doing double elimination for the first time in ProBots history. Trying out a new little format, and so far it seems to be going really well. I like it. The audience seems to like it. You know, it creates for some a little bit more exciting matches. It's nice to see a best of 3 as well, especially between some of these bots that are so close in skill level and really can duke it out. Like your bot versus ANIbot. You know, that was awesome to watch a best of 3 of.
Yeah, that was a close match.
Yeah, that was very close. So, all right. Well, I'm not watching the timer, but it is a long way until game number 2. So we're gonna do some plugs here, just one more time in case anybody is tuning in just a little bit late to the stream. Thank you for joining us. This is ProBots Day 3, the lower bracket, and hopefully we will have those brackets for your viewing pleasure in just a little bit here. But yeah, it's some good stuff. We've got a fun forum where you can keep up to date with what's going on here on ESChamp. You can start conversations, ask questions, that kind of thing. You can also check out our Crown Club membership. You get awesome shout outs when they work here on stream, and you also get some cool perks. You can get access to the Discord. You can get some behind the scenes looks at stuff. Yeah, that's it for that. So bot authors, let's talk about them. We've probably got some people here like, how do I make a bot? What is the best place to go to start making a bot? Would you say it's the AIArenanet.net?
Oh, there's a new answer to that.
I
think Drek and I don't know who worked on Bernie, maybe.
Yes,
they came out with a document. It's kind of like a step-by-step guide to getting you started on the new bot. So.
Yeah, I remember that. We'll have that hopefully pulled up. We'll take a look after this series, talk a little bit more about that for aspiring bot makers. But we are ready with game number 2 between ThreeWayLover and OneBaseBc. Let's go. And go. Yeah, we're trucking through. We'll make it.
All right, so in the bottom right, we have the red Protoss going to try to win 2-0. It is ThreeWayLover.
I forgot we were doing manual. Oh, no, we're not doing manual.
ThreeWayLover.
So pretend that intro was, here we go.
OneBaseBc.
All right. Surely that wasn't confusing at all. I mean,
No,
everyone
definitely
knows.
not.
Everyone knows by this point. Three-way lover is the red Protoss in the bottom. It takes that cheeky second base in the third base location. This map, though, is he going to take it just to the left there? Because that's a little bit more directly on the path, and that actually might get seen by something coming across. I'm just theorizing for if a marine ball or something were to march across the map and try to push up into the main.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The one thing I'm noticing is he took his second gas extremely early. I'm not sure if this is what he did last time because of the fast Tempest, or whether he has something else in store for us here. But yeah, that's 2 gas before Cybercore. Interesting.
DTs maybe. That's where my brain first goes. That's when I want to do either a DT rush or an HT rush, I go 2 gas before Cybercore. So
certainly means tech. Although now
Yes.
he's taken those gas, he only has 3 workers total in the gas geysers. So who
that's
knows?
interesting.
Yeah.
It's just kind of wasted minerals at that point. All right, nice. Oh, looks like we might have a little gas mining issue here. Interesting. Especially
4-1
uncommon
saturation.
for Three-Way Lover. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
There's the fix, kind of.
He's just getting a gas offering to take to his opponent. And there it goes, across the map.
Yeah, so the third worker you put in a gas geyser isn't actually as efficient as the first 2. So one of those other things that bots can take advantage of is where humans will take gas geysers based on how much gas they need. Bots can just take all the gases and then keep changing how many workers they put in the gas geyser to determine how much gas they need. And that way they're rarely using the inefficient third worker.
That makes sense.
It's a minor difference, but it's something just humans can't pull off. Is it just be too much work always switching them?
Yeah, well, in a minor it's Micro Machine that does the bunker gas now, right? That was his trick. Because I'm curious to see how much
that's
that
a whole nother
actually
level there.
impacts the. We should watch and see how much more gas. See if it really cranks up the gas.
Yeah, I think it's 3 workers or 4 workers that he uses to fully saturate 2 gas geysers. So he's saving 2 to 3 workers right off the bat with that.
Yeah,
it's a little when he's trying to do full saturation though, it doesn't work 100% perfectly. So it's not a huge advantage he has over the rest of us. But it's definitely right up there on the cool factor.
Oh yeah, very cool.
So there's that third expansion you were talking about, skipping the natural, really throwing off the scouts, if any, from your opponents. Makes it look like he's one basing, meanwhile he's actually taking in an expansion.
Yeah. Well, and the BCs are just going to teleport in anyway, so yeah, especially in this matchup, it doesn't matter as much. But what did you miss, Elat? You didn't miss much. You missed 1 game. Three-Way Lover managed to take out OneBaseBc with some Tempest play. And yeah, it turns out Tempests are greater than BCs in a lot of scenarios. And here we go. Yeah, we did see the Stargate finishing up. We've got the Robo facility done as well. And there's the Fleet Beacon. Was that just me that lost the stream? Oh, no. Okay, there it's back. Okay. We're good. We're good. Everything's good. Everything's great. It's a wonderful day of StarCraft here. And yeah, we're going to see Tempest once again. So OneBaseBc, if OneBaseBc could somehow get in here before the Tempests start popping out, could shut it down. If it somehow manages to kill the pylon or something for the Stargate.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's probably going to time it with his second BC.
Yeah.
Because then you'll have Yamato done. And at that time, he should only be up against 1 Tempest. So his first jump is really the time he needs to get in there and wipe out a mineral line. That's what he requires. If he can't do that, we're going to see a repeat of last game.
Yeah.
Couple free stalker kills though. That's always nice.
Yeah, I love those.
Means 2 less stalkers at home to defend the BCs.
Indeed. Now I'm trying to remember. I don't think it used Yamato 1 time last game.
I think he targets stalkers with Yamato.
Does he? Oh, okay. Maybe I just missed it coming out then, or he just killed the.
Doesn't consider Tempest because he figures if he's going 1 base battlecruiser, you'll never see a Tempest. That's not the case when your opponent is rushing the Tempest as fast as you're rushing PCs.
Yeah, I'm almost surprised Three-Way Lover didn't proxy the Tempest or something. I guess we saw that more out of. Oh geez, who did we see that out of last season? Tyr. I think Tyr did that a bunch.
Oh wow! I forgot how fast Tempest build now. He's going to have almost 2 of them by the time the second BC pops.
Oh yeah.
He's going to have about 1.5.
I just saw there's a Blizzard patch note. They're testing faster building Void Rays and giving them just a speed boost in general for both their normal speed and their boosted speed once they get the upgrade. Anyway, here we go. 2 BCs on the mineral line. They're going to be able to take out the 2 Stalkers. Yeah, see, no Yamatos right there. Interesting. So just going to be content with killing some probes. The Tempests are just, man, there's so much room here for Tempests. They're going to be able to clean this out, no problem.
Yeah, a little better than last time. He killed, what, maybe 8-10 workers there?
Yeah.
He is chasing these Tempests futilely, though. Tempests are faster than Valkyries. They do have to stop to fire, but it's going to take a long time before he gets in range. He's going to lose a Valkyrie.
If OneBaseBc had actually used Yamato, two Yamatos should kill a Tempest, right?
2 would kill a Tempest. I believe one does not kill a Tempest.
So just the fact that he teleports with the 2, there's 1 just as he gets there, like 2 Tempests are popping out.
He starts Yamato right when he's about to die.
So
15 worker kills, yeah. That's got to be better than last game.
Oh, yeah.
I was adjusting my mic at that moment, but it's got to be better.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit better, but in the end, it just comes down to the age-old question, which is better, Tempests or BCs?
Yeah.
And we already answered that last game. It's Tempests.
If we could take a look at the main base of the Protoss there. He was able to jump across while these Tempests were out of position.
Okay.
He may have gotten some more worker kills, I'm not sure, and he's going to get this Tempest.
Ooh, he actually gets on top of one. Yeah, that's nice. So I guess that's the trick, is just teleport right on top of them. Because in a straight-up fight, yeah, the BC will win. It's the kiting and the range that gives the Tempest the, the superior edge, typically. There it goes.
Yeah. He's got one more bunker to buy him time. But yeah, I mean, even if he gets in there and wipes out, say, 2 mineral lines, is that enough?
No.
I don't think so. He's still got to deal with like 5 Tempests on the map, and at that point, he's going to be losing his mineral line.
Yeah, the Marines are, if he could maybe group all 12 of them up, because he had 3 bunkers, he could maybe get 1 Tempest, but in the end, yeah, the Tempests are just going to keep streaming across. ThreeWayLover is on 3 base, going on to 4, so this is what I was talking about earlier. 3-way lever can get very comfortably into the late game a lot of the time. It just has very good macro. It's cranking out Tempests.
Oh, look at that three-way kiting
on
that BC.
No, don't leave it. Go back. 3-way shot. Oh, I thought they were all going to
living up to his name, the 3-way kiting. It's a form of love.
It's true. All right, so yeah, this should be the end here. 47 army supply to 6. Yeah, we're going to speed up. The rest of the SCVs will die. So yeah, 3-way looking very good in this lower bracket so far. Is going to move on to the next stage. Against 2, we don't know. We're going to have to watch the next best of 3 to find out. So good job, 3-way. Well done, OneBaseBc. Your run ends here, and we will hopefully see you next season in ProBots, because that was some fun stuff. That was our first OneBaseBc bot. I can safely say that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to get a little diversity.
There is, I believe, another BC Rush bot that we'll be seeing next season, and I'm pretty confident. He's getting super strong. It's called BlinkerBot. Started off much like OneBaseBc, just like a really cheesy, how fast can I make a battle cruiser? And has developed into a really solid macro Terran player as well.
Yeah. Very good stuff. All right, so we are going to do just a quick break. We're going to fix a couple more technical issues we're having here, and hopefully we'll be back with the bracket after that. Be sure to check out our forum if you haven't already, and also be sure to check out our Crown Club membership, or just subscribe on YouTube, or you can just also hit the little bell icon and get notifications when we go live and come out with new content. All very good ways to help support ESChamp. All right, we're going to do a quick break, and then we'll be back with our next best of 3 in just a few minutes. Stay tuned, everybody. All right, we're back. Let's try this again, everybody. We hopefully have all our issues fixed behind the scenes. So thank you again for tuning in. This is, once more, day 3, our lower bracket of ProBots Season 2 of 2020. It's been pretty exciting so far. We did see our first bot elimination. OneBaseBc got trashed into the junk pile, and hopefully we'll see it resurrected for next season. Would be pretty cool. But we've got another best of 3 coming up here. We've got BlinkerBot versus WorthlessBot. Coming up now. This will be fun. It's PVZ if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is, and
excellent.
BlinkerBot is definitely the favorite going in here. He's a very powerful bot. WorthlessBot, he's just like the all-in one-base Zergling bot, but he managed to qualify top 16. So there must be lots of bots that are vulnerable to this strategy. Let's see how far he can get. Kind of reminds me of a really old StarCraft II tournament where there's someone called Action Jesus started like going through the entire bracket by just six-pooling everyone.
Hey,
it
it
was
works.
so fun. Yeah.
It worked to get him here. So yeah, we'll see if it works out against Blinker.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely wouldn't work against, OneBaseBc. I think OneBaseBC would do very well against WorthlessBot, just with the bunkers at the top of the ramp and
solid wall off.
Solid wall off, and then just gets those BCs and takes them out. So
OneBaseBc definitely has his strengths. We just he just didn't get the right matchups for this tournament.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you can see, the matchups really do change very drastically between these bots. So it should be very cool stuff. I believe we're gonna hop into our game right now. Are we ready? It says soon. Is it soon? Let's do it. Game number 2, or game number 1. Here we go. In the bottom right corner. Oh, wait, no, these are working right. Well, maybe. It is BlinkerBot. I couldn't wait.
MK Ultras. WorthlessBot.
All right, so we've got a fun little PVZ here. Now, again, both these bots, I believe, are programmed in Python, the language of choice amongst a lot of our bot authors here. And neither one received updates this week from its last performance. So we're going to see, the same builds that we saw, the Ling Rush that you were talking about from WorthlessBot, and then BlinkerBot will have to just kind of hold the stream. It's like a campaign mission. Hold the stream of Zerglings.
Yeah, and this could be trouble. He is trying to wall off the low ground to start the game. Looks like he has a fast expand in mind, and this is just what WorthlessBot is looking for. That sort of vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got to shout out our bot authors as well. Our intro for BlinkerBot there is created by Bernie, one of the big contributors to the StarCraft AI scene. I believe there's some database resources available from him, right?
Yeah, he actually supports the Python API that everyone uses.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, very big. Of course, its bot rival is Micro Machine. That's to be expected from a lot of these probably. But yeah, we should see a lot of Blink Stalkers out of BlinkerBot. It should be a very strong play. We saw, who was it last week that did so well? We were just talking about it in the Discord earlier today.
Last week he faced the Harvester, and that was by far the best series, I think, of round 1. Very close series. 2 strong bots. Yeah, and he could be in trouble here. Looks like he skipped the first Zealot. He doesn't have a wall yet.
And that's not good.
Are good versus Stalkers.
And no walls.
Yeah.
This is just like a prime opportunity. Wow, WorthlessBot maybe won't be so worthless after all here. Is going to be able to now see what it targets. Will it go for the pylon? Because that would be just too good.
I don't think it matters. I mean, one Stalker popping out, what is that going to do?
Much.
He's pulling his own workers. Okay, if the Stalker gets out in time to fight with these workers, then maybe he's got a chance.
Yeah, the pullbacks are almost perfect. Does lose 1, 2 probes go down. A third will fall as he goes into the natural. It's keeping him off the pylon, though.
Okay, that's not so bad.
I like the Adept.
Yeah, Adept is nice versus Zerglings. A lot better than a Stalker.
Keep moving.
Not using a Shade, though.
Scoot and shoot. It's trying, man. Oh, it's going to go down here. And another one isn't on the way. I guess BlinkerBot just doesn't have the resources. Yeah, the minerals are just a little lacking. And it's trying to reproduce probes instead of prioritizing that Adept to try to hold this. But in the end, there's just too many Lings anyway. I think one more Adept wouldn't have done much. WorthlessBot coming in clutch. Whew, I love it. And this is where, we were just talking about, this is probably why WorthlessBot did so well. It really takes advantage of that early game greediness or whatever it may be from the other bot.
Yeah, there's huge advantages too to coding your bot to do cheese rather than to try to play a late game. It really simplifies. You don't have. There's so many things you don't have to worry about anymore.
Yeah.
All you gotta worry about is making a bunch of lings and shoving it into your opponent's face. You know?
Right, and sometimes it works.
Yeah, now we're seeing how he was able to qualify. Simple but effective.
Ooh,
Catching that greed off.
The next question is, will he move on to the next round? So
Yeah,
far,
that would
looking
be
good.
a huge upset if Bernie were to fall into round 1.
Yeah, be interesting. So yeah, here we go. Probe's gonna try to fight and evacuate, and it's just in the end not gonna work out. And WorthlessBot will take the first of this best of 3 here. So BlinkerBot's gonna have a chance to hopefully wall off a little bit more efficiently next time. Maybe get that wall finished. I think it'll be a little bit more map dependent too, maybe, because there are some tighter chokes there outside the natural sometimes.
Yeah, there could be some match history going on with BlinkerBot's strategy decisions as well. He might lose to this bot, say, okay, he beat me with cheese last game, let me start with one base and expand later. So if that's the case, he'll have a nice little wall off at the front of his main base instead.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, we're going to get game number 2 loaded up here momentarily. So, yeah, the big thing is just going to be if BlinkerBot can make a wall or maybe just not expand so quickly, or, you know, there's a few things it could do to survive this early ling aggression for sure. But will it do it? That's the question.
And survival is all it takes for victory. I mean, if you can survive that ling rush, there's no follow-up coming. So it all comes down to that, but, you know, that 2-minute mark, who's going to take the advantage there?
What were we going to talk about? Remember, I was like, we'll talk about it after the series. It was something cool that we were going to talk about. Was it something for bot? Oh, yeah, the bot making that ESChamp just released recently. You can get basically a bot template, right? Is that pretty much what it is?
I think that's what it is, more or less, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't taken a look at it yet myself, but...
I took a quick look. I meant to dive into it, but then I just kind of got busy. But yeah, we'll get a link to that, hopefully messaged in our little chat here. Looking at you, production. But yeah, it's a template, and you can get started if you want to get into ProBots or even just get into making a bot. There's a very cool ladder going on, the AI-arena.net. They just did their first official season, and that is what qualified these 16 bots for ProBots this season. So we're kind of partnering with them. They do a very cool thing. There were over 50 bots in this season. And then, of course, these top 16 moved on. So it's a very competitive scene, but it's also very good for, you know, beginners. You might not do the best, but if you can just make a quick little ling rush bot, you might be able to qualify for ProBots. You know, it works out sometimes.
Yeah.
So did you do a template at all, or did you just from scratch? You just built from scratch?
From scratch, and I chose Java, so I had to really reinvent the wheel. There's a reason people pick Python. There's a nice framework out there called Sharpie that does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. I think that's probably what they're going to use in the template. And yeah, it's probably the way to go. But you know, the nice thing about doing everything from scratch yourself is you do things a little bit differently. And so my bot won't look as, you know, he'll look a little bit different than the other bots in the way he moves around and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Eventually, I'll make a bot as well. I actually just thought of a really fun idea. It's definitely not in the practical sense of things, but every time I want to make a bot where every time a unit gets a kill, it does the dance animation for every single kill it gets. So it could very much backfire and just get all my units killed, or it could be really cool. There's a couple different ways it could go. Anyway, we are, I believe, ready for game number 2. Let's go ahead and dive into it right now. Right now. There. Nope. Oh, yeah, our versus screen ain't working. We have the intros now.
Bernie's BlinkerBot. MK Ultra's WorthlessBot.
Hallelujah, it worked.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
BlinkerBot's doing the same build, looks like.
Uh-oh.
So it looks like his pylon is actually a part of the wall this time, and that could save him.
It'll help a little bit. No, there's just going to be such a huge gap there
No,
still.
not placement.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really far out there. That's an interesting choice to do just in general, I guess. I guess it's so you don't get like a concave outside of your wall, I guess, that can really just tear it down or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually not a good idea to make the pylon part of the wall because it makes you vulnerable to things like bailing bust. But in this case, it would have been a good idea just because you want to finish that wall as soon as possible if you're going to get ling rushed.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Cybercore come down here in just a moment. Oh no, is he going to do Nexus first? Oh yeah, he's super dead to this. BlinkerBot, you are in a world of hurt. Or you're going to be in a world of hurt here, I think. Speed is on the way, the first 8 lings. WorthlessBot, showing his stuff, is just going to be able to... oh, geez, that's not even up against the wall there. Ooh. All right, so yeah, this might be a quick 2-0 here. And BlinkerBot might just get knocked out in the lower bracket here today, which, yeah, like you said, kind of a little bit of an upset. Maybe not the anticipated result, but early lane pressure is nothing to be trifled with. That's one of the first things you learn as Protoss, is how to build a wall to stop the early lanes, because boy, do you see a lot of early lanes in the lower leagues.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, here we go. The Ling's just going to make it in here, and I don't see any hope. There's no unit even on the way yet.
Yeah, waiting on the Cybercore. Probably going to open Adept again. If he could somehow time his probe pull with the Adept, I think it would work a lot better, but it looks like the probes were pulled on the exact same timing as last game. One of those things that's really hard to do as a bot. You really need to pull workers with your army. If you pull it before or after, it's kind of useless.
Well, I obviously am not smart enough to do the math in my head here, but I think the Lings would have torn down that gateway before the Adept popped out, because there was 8 of them going at it. You know, they tear it down pretty quick. But yeah, as it is, they're in the mineral line, and probes are going to start falling. I do love the probe micro, though, I must say. It's really nice how they fight until they take a couple hits. Doesn't even wait until they get to the lowest possible health. It's like right as they start taking hull damage, it's like, okay, I need to pull back here.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just not quick enough, though.
Just only use the shields. It's a nice tactic for Protoss units.
Well, definitely bought him a little bit of time here. And yeah, like you said, if it had pulled with that Adept, very well could have changed this and kept the momentum going. Once you get those first few lings, if you can hold that first bit of pressure, usually you can keep the momentum up. But there it is, WorthlessBot taking a 2-0 on... oh, God. I can't ever say this one. Simulacrum. That's right.
No one can say it.
Right. No one can say it. It's fine. It'll be out next season probably anyway. But good stuff. WorthlessBot's moving on. Very cool. So that means, I believe, not our next matchup, but just in the next stage of the lower bracket, it will be ThreeWayLover versus WorthlessBot. If I'm not mistaken. We don't have our bracket, unfortunately, to look at tonight. So you can all just use your imaginations or find it somewhere online, or maybe somebody will post a link in the chat there. But yeah, let's get ready for our next best of 3. So well done again to all our bots so far. We've got 2 bots eliminated. OneBaseBc's out. Now BlinkerBot is out. Coming up next, we've got Spudde versus ANIbot. Now, I'm personally, I'm an ANIbot fan. I just love the character that ANIbot has. It's very talkative and just has a nice little bit of personality. But Spudde is a new bot this season. And we definitely, I'm trying to remember what we saw exactly last week. But it does play passively early on and tries to go for a big attack. That's right, it did bio and tanks. It did a very nice bio tank attack.
Yeah, I remember him like pushing in on Spiny. It was pretty interesting. Like Spiny was ahead, but his tank push was getting a lot of success. Pushed through a few bases before Spiny was able to turn the tide with Broodlords.
Yeah. So definitely could see something very cool out of Spudde today. Yeah, it's gonna. I can't call this one honestly. It's gonna be a TVZ. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, it's Wait, is that right? Wait. No, TVT. I'm sorry. So yeah, a little Terran on Terran action. Now ANIbot, very strong. Went toe to toe with your bot last week. And did some very nice play. Definitely goes for that air superiority. Gets the Vikings out. I'm trying to remember. Had a decent little Marine build in there as well, because I remember the Marines getting some nice free shots at your Vikings here and there, or at your Banshees.
Yeah, he had a Marine drop. He had he kind of makes use of all the different units. I know he has multiple strategies. Very active bot author. So yeah, ANIbot is one of those bots that from week to week he's just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I believe our game is ready, so we're going to see how strong ANIbot is looking and how strong Spud is looking. Oh, we're going to a break. All right, so we're going to be back after just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We are watching ESChamp Day 3 of ProBot Season 2 2020. And again, we'll be right back with our next best of 3 after this quick break. Stay tuned. Okay, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and ready for our next best of 3. Thank you for your patience tonight. We do have another awesome one coming up. We're going to try our bracket one more time, maybe, and see if that works. Maybe. Let's see if it works. No, it's not going to work. All right. Either way, we have an awesome match coming up next. It is a TVT, little mirror matchup coming your way. Spud versus ANIbot. Oh my God, it worked.
Nope, wrong bracket.
That's all right. No,
that's the winner's bracket.
Oh, it's the winner's bracket. Damn it.
So close.
So close. There's the lower bracket. Okay. Oh wait, what's going on?
Okay.
That's interesting. Wait, why are there two? Shouldn't it just be?
No, that's correct because there'll be new joiners into this bracket. When,
that's right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oh yeah, so actually I lied in the ThreeWayLover versus WorthlessBot. Might not actually happen then. It might if they go through the next round and then it would happen.
Right.
I see.
Right.
I see how this works. Okay, you're right.
So we don't know their next opponent yet. Won't find out until next week.
Very cool. All right. Well, we've already gone through the first two there. We've got ANIbot versus Spud next, and then Snowbot versus Kagamine coming up last. Snowbot is another new addition as well to this season, but we'll talk more about those two once we get to that game. But I believe we're ready without further ado to hop into our next best of 3 here. And take it away.
Because I stream all the time.
Mech build. In the top right, it is ANIbot, our blue Terran. Was the only
he's
bot
mining
that
out those
got
minerals again.
Yes.
Anyways, in the bottom left, we have the red Terran. It is Spud.
Oh, can we get a shot of Spud here?
You'll have to trust me on that. Just keep your eyes on the mini map.
It's going. There we go. There he is.
There he is.
There. Good stuff. So yeah, again, we saw the date there. Actually, ANIbot was last updated 4 days ago on the 2nd. So
I think there's intro screens going on.
Yeah. Oh, there. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, we also saw you just talked about the minerals last week. It kind of didn't work as well as ANIbot had hoped. I think there was one moment where or was that ANIbot? There was one bot that just went and pointlessly mined some minerals.
Yeah, that was ANIbot.
Was that ANIbot? Okay.
I think it was definitely meant for Golden Wall, but on a map like this, or there was even one map that was worse for him last week. He ends up sending like so many of his early workers like halfway across the map to mine out those special mineral walls, and that's painful. In the early game, everything's about economy. You don't want to be losing even a second of mining time.
Oh yeah, very true. All right, so we got barracks on the way. It's gonna be
and the second racks.
Okay, second racks is good. I like that. I'm curious. I think ANIbot's going to go into more of a sky Terran again. Or I'm curious. Maybe that was just more of a response to what your bot was doing last week.
So it looks like Spud was trying to expand, but because ANIbot's SCV scout was at the ramp, he lifted the wall. So the SCV wasn't able to get out. So I think it interrupted his expansion attempt.
Oh, interesting. Well, hopefully it didn't break anything too badly. Sometimes these bots just, up and break if something like that happens.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out when he hits 400 minerals again. Okay, there he goes. Now he's able to get it.
We're good. Excellent. So, yeah, I would imagine we're going to see a second base out of ANIbot very shortly here, too, as the factory finishes up. And we did see this is a mech build, actually. So what are we going to see? Tanks? Is this going to be our classic tank Marine Terran? Or are we going to see maybe some Cyclone play? Obviously does very well against bots.
Yeah, two very powerful units. Everyone seems to have issues with tanks, so they're definitely strong. And then Cyclone with bot micro is just crazy powerful.
This is the most amazing interaction. Wait, go back to that. Yeah, there we go. Oh, okay. I thought ANIbot was going to commit there, but they were just dancing back and forth. They saw each other. It was like, oh, I got to run the other way. And then the other one would see us. Oh, I got to run the other way. Here we go. They are finally fighting. Reaper's not going to get very many shots in. Usually the Reaper should just be able to gun down the Marine, but ANIbot's going to be able to push that back for now.
Yeah, it looks like ANIbot has a ThreeWayLover-esque expansion base where he's taking his third before his natural. I'm not sure if it's by design, because he also seems to be building production in his natural base, which is not a good spot for it. So, a little bit of issues with this map, it seems.
Gets scattered right away. And actually, the SCV died building the base. So ANIbot getting slowed down a little bit. Spud got blocked. ANIbot now gets delayed, so blow for blow a little bit. Oh, I love the Widowmine edition. Those are so good in bot matchups. But like you were talking about, I believe, last week, how the bot can just identify that something's there. Does it do the same for burrowed units as it does for DTs and the like?
If it has a visual indicator as a human player, then they can see it.
Okay, so
they know it's there. But so Widowmines, yes, but most, like every Zerg burrowed unit you cannot see. There's no visual indicator unless it's moving.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, if it's moving you see the little trail, but if it's just sitting there, oh, you're right.
Yeah. So just think of it like a human who has really good eyes, you know.
Yeah,
if there's a visual indicator they can see it, otherwise they can't.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
Burrowed Zerglings, they won't be able to see those. Hey, we're back. Look at us.
We're back. Hopefully the game comes back on, because that's what we really want to watch. Is the game. There it is.
Yeah, but the Widowmines, just because you can spot where they are, it doesn't mean they're not super annoying to deal with. Especially when you try to go in and kill them. Because sometimes when you have detection, you're like, okay, let me just shoot this burrowed unit, and then you try and half your army blows up.
Now, refresh my memory. Which patch is this tournament played on? Or are these bots played on? It's 4.1?
4.10, yeah. So the Linux version of StarCraft II, which is what we use, Blizzard hasn't been updating it for a while because DeepMind kind of took a hiatus from doing its bot.
Yeah.
So it's basically right before the infested Terran change. So there's no ambient shroud. Infested Terrans still exist. Shield battery overcharge isn't there. But other than that, it's more or less the same game that's live on Battle.net.
Well, now you got me really hoping that we see some Infestor play. Yeah, I don't think we really have to. I think OneBot last season might have done a little bit, but with some Fungals. Oh, I'd love to see some Infested Terrans. I'm so sad that those got removed from the game.
Yeah. I spent the last week actually trying to teach my bot to dodge Fungals with limited success.
Yeah. How now do you just anticipate the fungal essentially? Like you see an infestor and you just assume a fungal is going to happen, or what?
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult because it's not.
I would imagine.
You can't see projectiles, and you can't. It's not information given to you in the API. So what you do is you watch the infestors and wait until he suddenly drops 75 energy, and then you kind of guess where they're shooting the fungal to.
Oh,
and then
interesting.
Try to dodge that spot. So.
Well, but by the time it's casted, isn't it too late?
No, because it is a projectile. You get like 3/4 of a second, maybe.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
So units that would have been caught on the edge, you can get them out in time.
Okay.
Units that are dead center, you can't do anything for them. They're a lost cause.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah, so I could see that really helping out in big Viking clumps to scooch them back and avoid hopefully most of them getting caught there. But yeah. Anyway, there's no Zerg here. I'm dreaming.
Yeah. Looks like both opponents are able to safely expand to their 3 bases.
Yeah.
ANIbot's just kind of dancing with these Widowmines, looking for a spot to go to.
ANIbot
so it looks like it's going to be Marine tank versus a Widowmine heavy play. I've seen like one Raven. It looks like a mix of starports and factories out of ANIbot.
Yeah, very mech based. I still love the Marines sprinkled in though. I think that's a really nice addition. Just gives you a little extra DPS. Sometimes they'll tank a little bit for tanks or other mech. Very
Yeah,
nice.
and it's hard to survive early game cheese if you don't make a handful of Marines to start. Like, you can't really go straight to factory. You need something out of those barracks.
For sure. I agree. I love that this is getting into the later game. Yeah, it's so cool. Ravens are popping out left and right. We've got upgrades. Ooh, Blue Flame just started for ANIbot. So, yeah, really going heavy into the mech. And that's going to counter the Marine ball that Spud has very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that we can get up to enough Hellions, that is. Oh, man, this is going to be a Marine death trap. Look at this. Widow Mines are starting to get scattered across the map. We're going to have Blue Flame Hellions, which just absolutely roast bio if you get enough of them.
But here comes the push out of Spud, and we do have a Raven with the army, so the Widow Mines won't be quite as effective. Good chance he'll be able to kill the Widow Mines before they are able to activate. Drilling Claws and Blue Flame will not be done in time for this fight.
Okay, well, it's just going to get those first
this
outlier
attack angle
Marines.
doesn't really get him anywhere, right? It's hard to go up that ramp into the natural.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard against the
interference matrix on the opponent's Raven.
Oh, actually, he's doing it, I
Snowbots.
think.
Oh.
Is he breaking through? He's anti-armored missile. Okay, there we go. Now he's taking some big hits. But I thought he had a decent concave as ANIbot stuff was coming down the ramp. And
ANIbot threw away all of his Hellbats, but that's still a ramp with a couple siege tanks on either high ground. Nice little position for ANIbot there. Even with the interference matrix on the high ground siege tank. Looks like Spud's going to get cleaned up pretty easily here.
Yeah, and I really like the...
It looks like his tank's going to win that position, taking out both opponents' tanks somehow.
Oh, wow.
So that low ground position is now owned by ANIbot.
You jinxed him.
Again. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really get him anywhere. He can't siege like either of the second or third base, but if he can hold this position...
Yeah, I guess he can't really... Okay, it does go down finally. But yeah, with the Liberators out now, too, there's no way he's getting up that ramp. But yeah, ANIbot did a very good job at keeping it contained to the low ground there at least. Had it gotten up into mineral line range, that definitely could have posed a big problem, but nice hold all in all.
Just a perfect position to defend as ANIbot. I mean, basically, the position Spud took up was surrounded by high ground from all sides. The third base and all along the natural.
I do love that Spud is using...
high ground.
Yeah, for sure. I do love that Spud's using the Ravens so well, though, with the interference matrix, like you mentioned. And if he can get just into a better position that isn't surrounded like that, I think it's going to go a whole lot better.
Yeah. And trading out units for Spud is a good thing. He is up 20 workers. So as long as ANIbot never maxes out, this 20 worker lead is just going to mean more units for Spud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Stargate. I saw him when he placed that originally. I'm like, that's not going to be nice when he expands there.
Oh, I didn't even notice that at first.
It's actually not too bad. You would think putting a massive structure in the middle of your mineral line would be terrible, but it didn't actually block any of the mineral patches, just making the travel distance a little further.
It goes to show the true skill of the SCV pilot there. It's not an easy machine to maneuver. Able to work around that. All right. Oh, how does this going down here? Interesting place for some more production. I guess anticipating that it will eventually build a base down in that way.
Yeah, it's hard to find space in your main base to build everything, so people sometimes just add my expansions, throw down like 2 or 3 production structures in front of it. So it looks like he will be expanding. That'll probably be his next expansion base. This was one of the things that ANIbot was lacking last week, was he kind of stopped expanding. But actually, as I say that, he does take his own 5th as well. So, neck and neck in economy.
Ooh, here we go. Spud's going to try to push in. The tanks are now getting sieged a little bit late, but it should still be enough to tear through the Marine line here.
Yeah, I mean, that fight definitely could have gone better for ANIbot, though. He did not siege in time. He got interference matrix. His Hellbats were way out of position.
The Vikings for Spud actually killed off all the anti-air for ANIbot.
Yeah, and his tanks were in range of the command center. So, look at that Liberator position. Perfectly able to catch just the edge of the siege tanks.
Now that actually, the Vikings landed there. Had they stayed in the air, Spud might have been able to actually stick around, because that was what killed all the Liberators initially, was his Vikings. But then when they landed and got slaughtered by the tanks, all of a sudden, Spud's tanks are now vulnerable to the Liberators. But cool fight, though. Yeah, very, very just neck and neck here. These two are just kind of bashing against each other.
It's a very human-like tactic in TVT that once you take air control, you have this advantage where you can just set up your liberators right on the edge of your opponent's siege tanks, and then you can push your tanks forward and push his back. That's why air control is so important. Looks like ANIbot's figured that out, and it's able to make his liberation zones right on the edge of the enemy siege tank line.
Yeah, it's definitely good. And has 3 Vikings on the way at a time. 4 Vikings on the way at a time now.
Was able to save that command center as well. He looks like he moved it to a different base.
Yeah, these bots are
Yeah, so-
macroing like crazy right now. Look at all these bases. This is just
And
gonna
another
get to the
push out of
late
Spud.
game. No base this time to kill though.
That's
Few
true.
Marines. Ooh, gets the Raven. Yeah, the control has been a little bit not perfect for ANIbot. It's just
Okay,
oh,
the Hellbats
man.
are at least
Oh.
tanking for the siege tank this time, which is nice.
That was brutal, though, how they just single file went into the Marine meat grinder there. And now the tanks are a little bit late to siege once again. And will this be enough bio to push through? Vikings even landing to supplement it. And it, oh my gosh, it is. I thought maybe ANIbot could clean up at least the bio and the Vikings there, but Spud's breaking through. This is insane. There's so much going on. It's so hard to keep up sometimes with all that the bot is doing because it's doing like 80 things at once. Whereas a human can only do, you know, a couple things at one time. It's really hard to focus on everything. I love the tank again on the low ground position for ANIbot. The Liberator's trying to hold that ramp as well, but the siege tanks are finally in a decent spot. They're starting to shell some production down. Can Spud push through? Oh, not if he keeps sacrificing bio like this. The bio train is real. Your mic sounds awesome, by the way. It hasn't cut out once. I just
Nice,
gotta
that's
throw
good.
that out there.
Yeah, that
Just kept them in the air. I think this would have been able to keep pushing through. Because the ANIbot's only getting air control once those Vikings land, and then I'll die to the tanks and such.
Yeah, I never land my Vikings with my Terran, and it's not because that's a lack of a feature. I just see it as when you're landing Vikings, you're basically throwing them away. And since air control is so important, I'd rather just keep them in the air, even if I don't need them.
It
Because
is almost
eventually you
a,
will need them again.
yeah. Well, it's almost a desperation move most of the time, right? Because you need it to.
Well,
either
it can
dump
also be
in-
like if you take over the entire air, then you're like, okay, I have these 9 Vikings and nothing for them to shoot. I may as well
That's
make
true.
them useful and land them. But then if you land them and lose them all, then all of a sudden you need Vikings again. You can be in a lot of trouble there.
But here we go. We see Spud once more trying to get the air control. It looks like we'll be able to for the moment. Actually, ANIbot lands the Vikings, realizing that, I guess, there's just an advantage. Or maybe it's just a repair. Because every time one lands, I see an SCV go and repair it, usually. Let's see here. One just landed. Oh, now we'll never know. It's all right. It's cool micro. It's really, really nice little features here. I love that ANIbot does repair so much. Oh, that was like a pentagram. So the Marines are pathing out a satanic symbol. What else we got? This is just getting into the very late game here. I'm curious if all the bases will be taken. There's only 4 more to take, 2 on each side. Or
Yeah,
each
6
corner.
base on 5. I mean, it's still a huge worker lead for Spud. So the income advantage will always be his. And he's doing a good job of, even though the fights are not going well for him, the fact that he's preventing ANIbot from maxing out is working in his favor. If ANIbot is able to max out, then all of a sudden he has 140 supply with the army, whereas Spud can never be able to match that because of his high worker count.
No.
But we do have a big engagement here. It looks like 2 siege lines are in range of each other. I'm not sure who'll win that. It looks like the front tank was interference matrix, so nice for Spud. Winning the fight on the top. And it looks like he might even be able to push right into the 3rd base here.
Well, this might be the wrecking
tanks
ball
are just
move.
outside of range for ANIbot. When he tries to move them into range, they're getting sieged down. Very good position finally for Spud.
Yeah. No, this is great. This is just the big force that he needed to bust through here. ANIbot kept holding it back, holding it off. And I love this attack path a lot more. You know, every other attack so far kept trying to go up that little ramp just a little bit north there. And it was just surrounded, like you said earlier, by all the high ground. This time is just all high ground. Spud has way more and just bulldozes through pretty much. And yeah, no, this is over. I think ANIbot's done.
Yeah, it looks that way. He had ANIbot had like a perfectly placed low ground siege tank, and then he unsieged it and walked it to its death.
Oh.
It could have still been shelling now because the Spud was not going that direction. So it looks like we got the GG out of ANIbot. He doesn't actually leave the game, but he has decided that he has most likely lost the game. Trying to wear out his opponent here, force him to do as many actions as possible so he's tired next game.
So that brings our next philosophical bot question. Can bots be BM?
Just wait till you see my bot next week.
Oh,
My plan versus Micro Machine, if I have to face him, is just to BM in the entire game, because I'm not going to win. I'm going to go down at least at the vocal victory.
That'll be great. So yeah, we see the main base, this base getting cleared out. There is one more possible. A little late for that one, ANIbot. Yeah, it might happen. If you're just now panicking, that's a problem. Yeah, one more base. Wow, interesting choice. Yeah, he's going to try to get back up to that 4-base economy instantly, and that's all the economy essentially, all the money for ANIbot. And
well, he doesn't have a supply depot, so the only thing you really can build right now is like command centers or engineering base.
That's funny. He just kept building more command centers. GG, Spud will take game number 1. That was just game 1 here. This is going to be an exciting best of 3. We do have some awesome replays here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that while we finish talking about this game. Yeah, again, both these bots are in Python. Yeah, that was really just back and forth. Really just two Rams button up against each other, essentially. No, we don't have replays? What happened?
Once again, like story of ANIbot's life, but it looked like he was doing really well once again, and then just kind of fell apart a little bit near the end. I think it's that worker count. If Saveless is in stream here, I would up that worker count from 60. Probably want to get up to like at least 70, maybe even go up to 80 or 90 if you want to stay aggressive. So I think that's a wonder for Spud. Spud lost like 3 fights in a row, but just his larger economy meant if he did win a fight, it was just going to be the end.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think about 70 is I like that number. That's for the low end. If you're going to stop somewhere, stop at about 70, especially if you're up to 4 or 5 bases.
Again, one of those things though, if you can keep trading, which, bots like to like nonstop aggression, that's something bots are really good at, then you can go to a higher count. You can go up to 80, 90, even 100. And
yeah, this was not good trading. Not good trading for ANIbot here. A lot of blue flame hellions, a lot of hellbats died. Didn't kill very many Marines. Look
at that tank in the top left. If he never moved that, look how well that would show all the way around into the natural. And it was getting untouched, but he decided to unsiege it at one point.
That
thing could have been a hero tank and end up with like 100 kills.
Yeah, that is a good spot for that. All right, well that's game number 1. We are going to go into game number 2 here in just a minute. We've got one more match as well after this, so be sure you stick around, everybody. We've got one more best of 3 after this one's all wrapped up. I believe in ANIbot. I think ANIbot's going to be able to turn this one around. It's all about that momentum. If it can take that first engagement really well and not lose so much, because we really saw, like you were saying, just a lot of units dying. It didn't have enough economy to replace those fast enough. So if he can just doing well, fight.
He was winning those first fights like pretty handily. He just I don't know. That's 60 worker count, I think.
I think it was about the middle of the game that he started sacrificing a little too much.
But remember, he was setting up those liberation zones, pushing back the siege tanks. He had air control, killing off all the medevacs. His siege line was winning against Spud's siege line. I think if games ended at the 10-minute mark, ANIbot would be like 4-0 or 3-0 in this tournament so far. He always starts off really well.
Yeah. Do you think air control is the big deciding factor in this one, or how much do you attribute air control?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so paramount in TVT. You own the air. It means it makes your siege tanks better. It makes your liberators able to set up. It just gives you, it basically extends the range of your army.
Just about to say it.
You can probably hear us right now too.
Hang with us, everybody. It's coming.
Okay, in the bottom left, we have the red Zerg. Don't want to miss that early mining time. No split out of Spud there, but it is Spud. And in the top right, we have the blue Terran. Can he make a comeback? It is ANIbot.
Surveillances.
Oh, we got
Updated on August 2nd. So.
All right, TVT. Ooh, I love it when we get to
New
see
strategy.
the strategy. Fast Cyclone this time. So still along the mech path. Still, kind of the same opening here out of ANIbot.
I do like that he's trying something different. I feel like game one, things went really well for ANIbot, and he still came out with the L. So a different strategy is a good idea. I'm a little concerned if Cyclone versus Marine tank. Those seem like units that can handle Cyclones okay. Cyclones are obviously not that efficient versus Marines, and tanks can zone them out very efficiently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping ANIbot does some early game harass with it. Maybe. I don't like this map as much for the Cyclones though.
Yeah, well, he didn't say slow Cyclones. This is fast Cyclones, so
that's true.
I believe the goal is to do it off of one base, at least for a while, and see if you can get out some heavy damage.
Okay.
I love the way the Micro Machine uses Cyclones, where he proxies his Reaper first, and then he's able to use the barracks, float off the barracks, and use it as a spotter for the Cyclone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if you ever used Cyclones yourself, but vision is so paramount. They can leash for 14 range, but they can only see 10 or 11 range. So you need something forward to grant that vision for them, and then they can kind of get infinite damage. Yeah, and that's where floating racks is awesome. Yeah, 1,500 hit points or something. No,
yeah,
1,000 hit points, something like that.
Give you a vision for days there. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to see that a little bit more here from the bots too. Actually, now that you mention it, but especially if you're going into mech, you don't need the barracks. Use it for a scout.
Yeah, looks like a similar opener out of Spud. I believe we saw him open 2 racks before expand last time as well.
Yep.
So pretty safe. Get out the Reaper Scout as well. And I guess he tech labs the barracks, but he doesn't get Marauders, so I'm guessing he just wants to get early Marine upgrades.
Yeah, he went so many Marines last time. That makes sense. I could see that. All right, second base at pretty much the exact same time here for both these bots, so that's nice. Going to be keeping up on the macro. See if this Reaper can get anything done. Oh, there he gets one.
Yeah, it kills the. I guess I was a scout looking for proxies from Spud, but a worker kill is a worker kill. Probably be able to get this Marine as well.
Oh yeah, nice.
As long as he commits.
So he's going to get a full scout here. ANIbot could even go for some workers. I'm surprised it's just leaving. Just left. All right. That's
yeah. We got spoiled by seeing Micro Machine and Straylock's Reaper control. Most bots are very one-dimensional in the way they move their units around the map, either forward or backwards, where with those 2 bots, you see Reapers just scooting around behind the minerals, scouting an entire base, picking off workers.
Oh yeah.
That is difficult to code.
Right. You don't use Reapers at all, right? You just stick with the mech.
No, I don't even use ground units for the most part.
Oh yeah, you were just straight
tanks and a handful of Marines, but that's about it. Yeah.
Hey, it works. Well, and isn't that the ultimate? Yeah, isn't that the ultimate Terran end game? Is Sky Terran? Typically.
No, but we're making it that.
There we go. Cyclone's finally out here. God, felt like forever. I was hoping to see him a little bit quicker. Maybe even proxied would be nice if you're going to go fast Cyclones. I love seeing them proxied. But no, it seems almost like a pretty normal Cyclone time to me.
Yeah, that should definitely not be called fast Cyclone. That should be called mildly in time Cyclones.
They're definitely not late, but they're not early. All right, Armory coming down for ANIbot, just for upgrades, I'm supposing, or maybe going to work a little bit more into mech, maybe get Hellbats again or something.
Yeah, and it's okay for Cyclones to be a little bit later for bots as well. I mean, in human play, you always think of Cyclone as being an early game unit, and that's mostly because you can't keep making Cyclones, because once you can handle microwing 2 or 3 of them, but once you get up to 5 or 8, it's just they're too cumbersome. It's too hard to handle the micro of leashing and staying within range. And that's something a bot can handle. However, you can go up to 15 Cyclones and have each of them individually microed well. So
be all effective.
I feel like they're more relevant later in the game in a bot versus bot matchup.
I think that would beat mass Blink Stalker play, because we saw last week some of the Blink Stalker, and from that clip that we posted in the Discord, just 20 Stalkers all across on different screens can be controlled at the exact same time. If you can do that with Cyclones too, I feel like that would just crush the Stalkers and just about anything else.
Yeah, possibly.
Battle Cruisers wouldn't do well against
I know
that.
Micro Machine stops making Cyclones because he had issues with Stalkers.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. I guess Cyclones are very weak. They're kind of like paperweights. ANIbot has a trapped worker in his mineral line, I just noticed, in his main base.
Oh, no.
But that can
taking a
actually be
break.
a huge problem because that worker goes idle. And sometimes, like when you want to expand, you're like, oh, let me just grab an idle worker to expand. And you keep trying to grab that stupid worker who's stuck behind the missile turret. And then you never get to expand again.
And it never, ever moves.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Apparently
there
was a bot who once tried to solve this issue. He detected which workers were stuck and decided to only ever build structures with units that weren't stuck. But he got that Boolean backwards and changed it to the opposite. So he only ever tried to build structures with stuck workers. It did not turn out well for him.
Now that is a worthless bot if it's doing that.
Yeah.
But all right, 3 bases now. Yeah, both these bots really favor the later game, heavier macro style, bigger economies. And I personally also enjoy it just because you do see a lot more bigger army engagements, just clashing against each other and that kind of thing. Oh, this production tab is crazy for ANIbot right now. Upgrades, Marauders, Bio, Cyclones, Ravens, just a little bit of everything here.
What's on the production tab? Everything.
Everything.
But we do see Stim, so
yes.
It wasn't Cyclone into Mech. This is Cyclone into Bio. So I guess when he says fast Cyclone, he maybe just makes one defensively, which is really smart. Cyclone is really nice at picking off early Banshees, early all-ins. It's a good all-around unit right in the early game.
For sure. Yeah, and it was, okay, there's actually 3 out now in the natural. I thought it just stopped at the 1. Oh, no, there are more coming out. So, yeah, he is going to start supplementing that army with a little bit higher Cyclone count. And with the Bio, I think this is going to be very strong because I think the issue that the Cyclones have, like you said earlier, is that vision. And that's when the Stalkers can, kite out of range or whatever. Even in this case, the tanks might just be out of range as the Cyclone locks on and then tries to pull back. But if you have a bunch of Marauders up in the front line there, given vision and just kind of tanking stuff, the Cyclones are really going to be able to do a lot of damage, I think.
Yeah, this is actually really interesting. This is something I've never seen before out of bots or humans. He's playing Bio Terran, but he's committing to upgrading his Cyclones. So notice he's getting the Cyclone upgrade, which doubles their damage versus armored.
Yeah.
So this is a Cyclone Bio build.
Is that?
I mean, I don't even know what to make of that. I've never heard of this before.
Magfield
Obviously,
Accelerator.
the mech and Bio upgrades don't synergize, but you don't really need mech upgrades for Cyclones. The attack upgrade for mech does not do anything for Cyclones, and the armor upgrade isn't that impactful for a unit that stays at long range.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. But it only does extra damage against armored, right? The Magfield.
Yeah, and by extra, it's actually double damage. It's a 100% damage increase.
That's crazy.
So,
That's
it's a massive. It's not like a typical upgrade.
Well, and when you've got this many Cyclones, that is a lot of damage output. Right now, they're busy with the Marines. So as the Marines push down into this little choke, that is just going to be a slaughterhouse of Marines.
Yeah.
They actually get to the top. I'm surprised they made it so far, but they will.
Yeah, they matrixed 2 of the 3 tanks, I think, is what I saw there. So
yeah.
He was able to establish that position, but it's not a good position to establish per se.
If he can keep vision, he's keeping all the Cyclones back with the tanks right now, actually. One Banshee's going to shut this all down, though.
The Vikings are going to work on those medevacs as well. And once again, early game is looking really good for... The early game engagements is looking really good for ANIbot versus Spud.
Look how many workers.
If we take a look at the bottom, we can see the worker count again, favoring Spud. Not as big of a worker lead this time, but still a bigger worker lead.
Yeah, no, there was almost 70 workers there for ANIbot. As they're dying, obviously, we got less. But ANIbot is still producing. So we're going to have an above 60 working game here for our Blue Terran, which is...
Yeah, unfortunately he has nowhere to put them at the moment, though. He was able to force a lift on his third base with a little side attack out of those siege tanks.
Did he just
finally
move it
cleared
to
out
the
his fronts
fourth base
and his
location?
third, so... yeah, and he should be able to hold his fourth base as well. So if he floats back that command center, he'll have a nice little 4-base setup.
Wait, which one did he float away? The third to the...
The third base he floated towards his main, last I saw. I'm not sure if it
main.
burned down or if it's in there or what happened to it.
I thought he floated it to that fourth base location. Okay.
No, because I think he's upgrading that. It was an orbital command.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Maybe
that couldn't be.
Our observer can find it.
Yeah, it must have died. Oh,
I think it's heading towards his fifth base, actually. If you go south.
oh you're right. There it is. Man, how is it? It's like the biggest building in the Terran. We're like,
I know.
I can't see it.
I mean, we've all had games like that where we float away a command center, then 20 minutes later in the game, it's like you find it in the corner, and it's like, oh,
Oh,
I could have been using that this whole time.
Where did you come from? Oh, man. Well, so far, it is looking much, much better for ANIbot. That army supply heavily in ANIbot's favor. This build working out so much more, I think. And here comes the Cyclone hit squad. Is it going to be able to get into a mineral line, maybe in production? Oh, now it detects air units. Wait. It saw there's just medevacs out, right? Maybe it saw the Viking on the
landed
ground
Viking.
there.
I think it's probably what sparked its little...
So attack air units are what trigger that, not medevacs. Okay.
Yeah,
but
I guess that's probably code that initiates when do I need to build anti-air. And, you know, medevacs aren't really an air threat where Vikings are.
It was really nice having those initial Vikings for ANIbot, though, against the medevacs. Able to pick some off, keeps them from granting vision to the siege tanks that were on the low ground. So just all
especially
around
when they're both setting up their siege lines so close to each other. Like, sometimes the tanks are in range of each other, but they can't see each other. So whoever has the flying units above to grant vision will get off the first shot.
Yeah. So sometimes that's all it takes is the first shot, and you've got it. Thor's on the way. I love that. Nice little Thor addition from ANIbot. It's going to help against the Vikings as well, too, but it's really just going to absorb a lot of damage, I think, is going to be its main
ANIbot
purpose.
kind of anticipating this attack, or maybe just got lucky, but he's going to be set up here in time. I think he should be able to hold that fourth base. We'll have to see. A lot of Banshees in his mix, actually.
These Marines push so much further than I think they're going to. It's still not enough, but, man, Spud's Marines are just beastly. Is he going to break this base? These tanks are in a really good spot. The Banshee is working on it. The Marines are trying to push the Banshees back. The Banshees are so low in hit points right now. Like one Viking volley for each one of them. Here we go. Viking does show up. Okay, maybe a couple Viking volleys for each, but still, it's enough. Yeah, he gets the base. That's incredible.
No float off either.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to hold. He was moving his army, getting set up in time, got his siege tanks up. Yeah, like once again, it comes down to the air superiority, and this time Spud had it.
Just barely,
Those poor
though.
Banshees were able to just kind of have their way with the siege tanks. That would have been a different story.
Well, ANIbot took it back, though, so just unfortunately a little bit too late for ANIbot. Is it going to just be that scenario where it's like, ANIbot's winning, doing so good, and then just, you can't even really identify what goes so wrong. It just can't keep up with the pressure. Where are you going, Thors? All right.
Yeah, a little Thor hit squad.
They got this. We're going to, hey, it's important. Do some counter damage. So we'll see if it can get anything done here as these tanks just continue to push forward. There's like no support for Spud's tanks. I'm so surprised they're still pushing forward right now.
Yeah, and
so little support.
Having some high ground issues.
There we go. It's a Viking.
Yeah, two Thors in the middle of a reinforcement line is gonna like no reinforcements are gonna be able to kill two Thors. He's just gonna be walking through all that stuff.
Is this what turns it
It's
around
really
for
hard to
ANIbot?
call.
It might be.
So many things are looking good for ANIbot, but then you look at the mini-map, it's like, no, wait, he's down 4 bases to 6, or 4 bases to 5, and he still hasn't dealt with his siege line.
Man, but the siege line's not killing critical stuff just yet. And actually, the Thor even pulls back when it starts taking too much damage, and I love that path it's taking. They both should get away. We'll see. See if any Marines follow it, I guess. Yeah, okay. Oh my god, it's going to get away. They're both going to go out at just the perfect time. That is some Thor control. Come on, ANIbot, bring us to a game 3. I'm really hoping this would be our second game 3 that we would have for this season. If
ANIbot's established a new 5th base. He has air control, so you notice his tanks are able to siege the opposing tanks without taking any damage in return.
Those Thors were huge, man. That was so important, I think.
Rip your reinforcement line, man. Those Thors possibly had like 10 kills each. I love to see a kill count on those things. A lot of it was Marines, but he also picked off a tank. He picked off some Marauders. He picked off a couple medevacs.
Viking.
We got another trapped SCV at 12 o'clock out of ANIbot.
Is that ANIbot's signature move now? Trapping the SCVs.
Well, technically, they're not trapped. Once you mine out that mineral patch, it'll take a long time. It will free the SCV. He did free the one in his main base by now, I'm sure.
Yeah, I
are really good at cutting through PFs. And so are Marauders, so I don't suspect this base will survive.
No repair, so yeah, it's definitely going down.
I can't believe it. ANIbot on the offense.
We're doing it. ANIbot's doing it. It's still not over yet. Spud still does have a good economy. I think, unfortunately, Spud does the trickle to death a little bit more than
these SCVs are short on life.
Well, they're about to be out of life. Yeah, they're done. Oof. And there we go. There's some landed Vikings doing some solid work there. So there's a good scenario for them to land for sure. And yeah, even any Vikings that come out for Spud, ANIbot's got plenty of Vikings now. Yeah, it really was that tipping point with the reinforcement line dying one by one. Once the main army's cleaned up, all of a sudden there's not very much army left. And but here we go. Spud gonna hold.
Yeah, he's kind of going into his own meat grinder. If he just stayed back and let that choke point work for him. So he lost all of his bio, but I don't know if Andy's going to get up this hill. Oh,
yeah,
maybe.
I think he will.
Those tanks are on siege now.
The Viking count's so high.
Yeah, this is definitely ANIbot's game. Very good. If there's
what
one
a
bot
turnaround. Sorry, if there's one bot, what?
I mean, if he lost this game, he would have been shut out for the tournament.
Yeah.
Where every single game he looked good.
Yeah, we haven't seen a bad-looking game out of ANIbot yet. You're totally right.
Definitely not.
Just some unfortunate happenings that just kind of turn around. But man, this was a beautiful game. I love the double Thor. That's just such a nice addition. So tanky. They've killed so much. Yeah, can we click on some Thors? We got 9 kills on one. I got to see some Thor kills here. Oh, they're so low, too. A couple of them are so low.
And if there's one unit that
20
makes Planetary Fortress
38.
Useless, it's the Thor.
There's the winner. 38 kills on that bad boy. That must have been one of the first ones.
Planetary takes out the 5th base, so Spud is down to his initial 4 now, and the main and natural mined out, units trickling to their death. I think this is more or less GG at this moment. I can't see any way back into this.
3 Thors. Yeah, you're not going to stop this. Well, I must say, upgrades for both bots, phenomenal. Both bots got fully maxed out on upgrades there. 3-3 across the board, so definitely no slouching in regards to the macro and the upgrades and that kind of thing. But, man, Thors are good. We need to see more Thors. And battle cruisers even showing up. ANIbot has quite the end game here.
Yeah, there is not a unit in the Terran repertoire that ANIbot doesn't use. I think... Oh man, am I remembering this right? Is ANIbot even the bot that used nukes?
The bot yes, that was ANIbot.
Yeah, that was ANIbot. I'm sure he uses that anymore, but he is the nuking bot.
We saw 2 different builds in this best of 3 out of ANIbot, and ANIbot's moving on, so who knows? Nukes might be a thing of the future.
Well, we don't know if he's moving on yet. Right?
What?
That was only game 2.
Oh, yeah, that was game 2. I'm
1-1
sorry.
now.
My brain, it's just one of those days. I'm telling you, everybody. It's a miracle the stream is still running. But yeah, we do have one more game. Ignore me. Get hyped for our second best of 3 in season 2. This is the second time of, like, what have we done? 11 best of 3s now so far or something? Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do
I
have
think
a
we'll
cool
be seeing
replay.
more of those now. I mean, obviously, round 1, we're seeing a lot of the best bots versus a lot of the barely qualified bots, so it seemed a little one-sided. But now in the winner bracket, we have all these 2-0 bots going against each other. In the losers bracket, in the lower bracket, we have, some pretty tight matchups as well.
Yeah, well, and here we can see some more of the engagements, and yeah, just every time Spud just keeps pushing through, getting really good trades for the most part. Lost a little bit of bio on this one, but it was really looking good for Spud to keep pushing through just like last game, especially once those Banshees all died. But once those Thors got into the mineral or into the, that was the tipping point really, when the Thors got the resource line or the reinforcement line. That's what I'm trying to say.
Gotta love that Cyclone micro too. Cyclones at that point in the game with huge armies just usually just instantly die as a human. And you just see ANIbot just picking off Marines from range. I mean, they can't approach the siege line, but it's still not so cool to see Cyclones and that number stay alive for so long.
Are you going to work Cyclones into your build at any point, or just going to stick with Sky?
I mean, it's hard not to, right? It's like a Protoss refusing to make Tempest. I mean, they're just so strong with bots that you got to at least consider it.
I think that could be a nice supplement for your army too, a nice addition. I think they would complement the Vikings and the Banshees very well, because again, they're keeping it range while the Vikings and Banshees are kind of up in the front line, right?
Yeah, they're my only ground unit though, so I wouldn't have any meat shielding for them. But I was thinking maybe Ghosts for that reason. Since I try to remove the opponent's detection, Ghosts, they could fit in there, get some EMPs off. It'd be fun.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, let's go into game number 3 and see what ANIbot has in store for us this time for our next match.
Spud. Surveillance's ANIbot.
All right, so same thing. So if you get Ghosts, you have to do nukes. You can't.
Finally, we're going to see ANIbot do his mineral wall clear on the right map.
Oh yeah,
this is the map it was intended for. So if you don't know this map, every base along the bottom of the map is walled off by minerals. So the only way in there is either to drop units in or to cut through the mineral wall. And this is what ANIbot's doing now.
And it's really not too hard to cut through that wall, right? Just a few trips.
I think it's 2 layers of minerals, and I think each mineral patch takes 2 mining trips to cut through. Yeah, I mean, but even like pulling one worker, distance mining with one worker at the start of the game kind of hurts. Your mineral income is so important at the start of the game because every worker accounts for such a percentage of your income. Yeah, but I'll be interested to see what he has planned here. I guess he probably expands along the bottom, which would be interesting. Otherwise, why clear that?
I would hope so.
Yeah, so I think this is the first time that I genuinely have no idea who's going to take the series. Like, even with BlinkerBot and Harvester, I knew the Harvester had an edge. This time, I don't know. I feel like myself cheering for ANIbot, but I think I'm biased in that sense. Like, a lot of these fights just happen to go really well for ANIbot. Spud's attacks are really powerful.
Yes.
Tank micro is correct. You know, he pushes out with the right composition. And as we saw in one game, if he gets a good position and takes a good fight, he can end the game right away. So with that said, like, I really don't know who's going to take this. It's been so even.
Yeah. Well, and it would be great to see either one of these bots move on, honestly. Each one has such strong play from the looks of it. Really good at getting into that later game scenario. And those are the bots I think we typically see do the best, is the ones that can get into the late game. What I missed?
I thought he was sending an SCV along the bottom to scout Spud's base, but it's a Reaper. A Reaper will be able to get in.
That's a nice path for a Reaper. Just a straight shot there. Yeah, I like he's got one up on the top too here, engaging the Reaper for Spud. And actually, it's gonna. Is that Spud's only Reaper?
Oh no, that was an SCV scout he sent along the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Fail scout.
Just making sure, I guess, that the opponent didn't do the same thing. All right, so he cleared the mineral patches, but did not put his base in the right
Mind
location.
games. Clear the back of my base and then expand forward to the gold. You'll never expect it.
Yeah, it's good. These bots can't deal with this kind of illogical behavior. Yeah, well, it's a decent spot for a base still, I guess. Wait, is that one of the Rich Vespine Geyser bases? Right?
Rich Gold.
Rich Gold. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's gold minerals, not a mess.
So it has only 75% of the total minerals, but you can mine it at a rate of 150% of a normal base.
Well, this is problematic for ANIbot. Gonna be donating a few SCVs to the Reaper fund here.
He has something coming over
he's
there.
trapped.
Probably just another replacement SCV. Nope, it's a Reaper.
Oh, he gets
Nice.
out. I thought that Reaper was dead. Lucky.
So taking this base is kind of my solution to the problem of Golden Wall. Because if you take that base early and gold minerals mine out pretty quick, that will also open a path into the bottom section of the base.
Okay, yeah, it just makes it
So
a
you
little
take
bit
that as like
easier
a
to
third
traverse.
base, and by the time you're ready to take your 8th base or whatever, the bottom's opened up for you.
Okay, that makes sense. And yeah, you get that nice little mineral boost at the beginning, so you can crank out some extra SCVs or whatever.
Yeah, and if you can fortify it well, it's nice. It's a nice little forward base to have set up. If you can take that with a planetary and a siege tank or something, and they have to come to the high ground, and it kind of defends your main base as well, being out front like that.
Wow. How
It's
many
a tough
SCVs?
base to take, but once you have it, it's nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How many SCVs died building this command center? Like 5 or 6?
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was not good, but ANIbot does finally finish the base here, and I think yours is the only bot that does planetaries, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, 3. Only
Maybe.
3. Okay. I thought a lot more SCVs died than that. I don't know why. But no, we just see orbitals mostly at ANIbot, and we've got an armory as well on the way. Engineering bay just finished up. Combat shield, so we're going to have a little bit of bio supplement to it. I think it's just the same build as last game. It said just the fast cyclone.
Oh boy, I hope these SCVs figure out a better path to mine those minerals.
Or they going?
They'll go back to their main base and decide to distance mine that way.
Yeah, do they go to the main to drop it off, or do they go all the way around to that? I would
They
imagine
go to the
they
main to
stop
drop it off.
Okay.
Let's see if they. Oh my gosh, they're not coming back the right direction. They're going to
That
distance mine that entire time.
is unfortunate. Well, once it clears out a mineral patch, I guess it'll fix itself.
Yeah, but it doesn't clear it out that quick. Those are full mineral patches, you know.
Yeah. Ooh. So a little bit. This is where the terrain starts to bug with the bots a little bit. It's I like the idea of doing the mineral to clear out that back path, but now if he hadn't cleared that back path, you wouldn't have this problem right now.
And notice how the orbital command still says 10 of 12, right? So he's only going to make 2 more workers for that base. Even though he only has like 5 workers properly mining it. Once it says 12 of 12, he's going to stop sending SCVs over there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So it looks like maybe 8 of them are on the right side, and the other ones are all distance mining. So definitely no bonus advantage from that gold base.
No. It kind of just resets almost to an even, like if he had just taken a normal base, I think.
Yeah,
Either way,
like that.
it's working all right. ANIbot, there we go. Third base is on the way. I would imagine we're going to see a third for Spud here very shortly. So the economies for both bots are still going to be relatively strong and even compared to each other.
And that third base is going to give an income boost in 2 different ways. One, it's going to give him an extra base to mine from. And 2 is that his distance mining workers don't have to distance mine as far anymore.
That's a good point. Wow, I feel by the time
distance
that
line.
command center's done, he should be about through one of those little patches, right?
You'd be surprised. I know they're gold
Take a while.
patches, but it's not like
It
you
just
suck
looks
them
so
up in
small.
a vacuum.
Yeah, that's true. Just one of those patches looks so short in comparison, and maybe it's just a graphic of it. Okay, well, we're gonna
So
get
focus
to
on these mineral patches. I haven't been paying attention to the rest of the game here. What do we got going on? We got a Raven on the way. Both players going stim. So we knew ANIbot was doing the same build as last time because he announced it at the start. So it's going to be like this bio with I'm losing my words here. Bio with
Cyclones.
Cyclone. Thank you so much. And then later in the game we'll see everything else with the Thors and the BCs.
Now, the Thor is obviously very strong, and I think they'll be just as helpful in this scenario, but they don't really have the opportunity to do what they did last game and cut off reinforcements, right? Because any ground forces right now have to go more to the north, towards the middle of the map, not across the bottom path, because Spud hasn't cleared out minerals yet. So I don't think ANIbot or it can, but I don't think it will take that path, because it's going to try to go to Spud's main, right?
Yeah.
so it won't go across the bottom at all.
Yeah, it all depends how he does the pathing. Sometimes some bot authors have their bots move just like a little segment at a time. They're just kind of clicking like a few spaces in front of the bot.
Yeah.
They're not actually like moving across the entire map. So he might, basically we want him to mine out one of those gold patches pretty soon, because I'm a little bit worried about him being caught out of position. At one point we saw him move his entire army down to his south base, which would have been really devastating had he got attacked at that moment.
Oh, is he out of position right now?
Not
space here.
so far out of position, but he is out of position.
Space might go
It's like
down.
I'm protecting my forward fifth base or fourth base. Meanwhile, it's his natural.
Oh, so unfortunate. It doesn't quite finish mining out, but it does lift the command center and will evacuate as the tanks or the Cyclones holding the line, really.
And I think he'll be able to save it. It doesn't look like the Marines are getting enough firepower. No vision on the high ground, though, means those siege tanks are just getting mowed down by the bio.
Ooh,
Cyclone's finally able to enter the action once again, now that their bio has moved out of siege tank protection.
Ooh, that was a good attack from Spudde. Yeah, this is where we were talking about earlier. His attacks are just so strong, and they just push so far into what ANIbot's got for a defensive line here. And yeah, the Cyclones are kiting, and they're killing off things here or there, but the tanks are now in range of the unfinished command center, and this is a problem for ANIbot.
So we finally got to see ANIbot on the map that was intended for his mineral mining, and I think that mineral mining probably cost him the game. If he just expanded in a normal fashion, his army wouldn't have been so far out of position for this attack. Another command center goes down. He does have a siege tank. It looks like it's actually blocking his own ramp, but his position nonetheless.
Oh, there's just so much. Even if ANIbot holds here, I think this is just going to be like game one, where there was just too much lost and just could not recover. And Spud's just going to be able to keep expanding and making more army, essentially. Because, yeah, look at the worker count, 77 to 53. And army's in his favor for now, too. Ooh, is that base going to burn down? Please.
Possibly. If he builds an SCV there, I'm guessing the SCV is smart enough to repair it. I don't think he probably repairs with his mules, though. I mean, he's losing a bunch of workers, too, that are trying to transfer to that base, which is a problem. They keep moving down, seeing the siege tanks dying, and then repeat.
4 SCVs. It's alright, just go mine at the other base. It's safe over there. It'll be fine.
I mean, he's got a great siege tank position. He has air control. There's a couple of things going for ANIbot, but if he loses his base, he needs to build an SCV there.
He's not building one there. Wait, there's two building at a time. Oh, no, it's at the other two bases. Yeah, the one south. Oh, that's unfortunate. And he has the money for it, too, so that's really interesting that it wouldn't be producing SCVs.
Okay, there's a Banshee out now.
Right?
He's going to slowly push the siege wall away.
Oh, yeah, there's no more anti-air here for Spudde.
I think we can almost certainly say it's GG, though, if that orbital dies.
Oh, it's dead. There's nothing going to repair it.
Yeah, it's getting low.
Oh,
Where are we at?
that's
21 hit points, 19, 15, 10.
Press F in the chat. Wait, is there an SCV
the
there? I said workers 1. Oh, it's the ones that are getting sent from the main.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because as they click the mineral line, it's like, okay, you're on this base now. But yeah, this is not looking good for ANIbot. Spud's just got so much economy back at home. It's just kind of trickling army across and losing it, but
yeah,
does that matter?
Again, great siege position here. He has a couple Banshees. I think he'll break out, but what's he breaking out into? A 5 base on 2. And his 2 bases are pretty close to dry at this point.
Yeah,
okay, there we go. Now he should unsiege and allow things to get going here.
I was going to say, though, that actually might have helped ANIbot if Spudde had just kept sending stuff across. Because eventually ANIbot, yeah, if ANIbot could break that, then all of a sudden Spudde's army is just a single file line. And we've seen bots lose with that. But as it is, Spudde does fall back home and is going to be able to regroup. And now I think this next army that Spudde makes should seal the deal here.
Who's trying to build a starport there?
That's a good question. Probably Spudde. I think we saw Spudde doing that, remember? Well, let's see here.
These Cyclones, if they move up a little bit, they can harass that mineral line, the far side of the gold. I don't think they're going to, though. Perhaps the Banshees? No.
Who is building that? I think, there we go. Is there an SCV just north and to the right here? It's about in the middle of the map right now. I think it's taking the long... Yep, is going to go try to go through ANIbot's base to build That's awesome.
If that makes it,
That is
we
what
should
a
just
what a
kick
quest.
ANIbot out of the game.
That's like Frodo trying to take the One Ring to Mordor there or something. Just does not happen though. Oh, okay. Well, things are calmed down, and army supply is relatively even. It's just that worker count, and yeah, as time goes on, more and more time goes on, ANIbot is just going to get further and further behind. I think. No way, those are the first Vikings out of Spud.
Yeah.
Are those the first Vikings out of Spud? Really? Guess so. Yeah. Because that's the first time ANIbot's protecting it. So. Could have sworn there were Vikings earlier. Here we go. Big engagement in the middle, actually. Tanks are going to get interference matrix and a nice anti-armor missile across Spud's army. Oh, but is it enough? ANIbot's just getting pushed back slowly. And I think as the tanks keep crawling forward here, they're going to be able to choke ANIbot out once again.
Yeah. And ANIbot had to take like a massive win, like 2 or 3 fights, just to make up for the economy difference right now.
Oh, yeah.
Trading evenly is a huge win for Spud, given the economies.
The Banshees are at it once again. ANIbot has one more time gained air control, and the Vikings even start to kill off medevacs.
Yeah, once the Marines go down, the Banshees are able to move in and kill off the tanks, which is nice. But there's not going to be a follow-up army for ANIbot like there is for Spud, and that's the issue here.
Do you believe in miracles, Ketrock?
I mean, if you think the game will last another 5 minutes, I believe in that. I don't believe in the comeback, though, no, unfortunately.
No. Yeah, it's just not looking too good. Spud is going to continue creeping forward here. Just that tank crawl is so nice. That is just what every Terran dreams to do with their tanks, I think. Just that nice, slow leapfrog effect. Just keep gaining ground. Oh, the last Banshee
one Banshee went down.
Oh, is there one more? Yeah, he's hiding behind the Raven there. It should go down, though, here. A couple Marines as they trickle forward. No, it lives for now.
ANIbot has a Skytear build that's very similar to mine, and I think that would have actually worked great for his Marine tank. It's too bad on his updates where he wrote strategies, he didn't decide to pick that as a strategy.
Oh, man, still, what a very close series. Even this one is still just, they're just bashing against each other right now. Obviously, Spud has pretty much an insurmountable lead at this point, but ANIbot is still just putting up a hell of a fight with
air superiority means he's just like wrecking them. He did finally lose his Banshees though, so he's not going to be able to deal with these siege tanks like he was up until this point.
And you can see the losses there in the bottom right. ANIbot has actually lost less, so that means he's been taking better engagements, just all in all. But Spud's just got more stuff. I guess that's just kind of the end game. Better stuff. Is that?
Yeah, it was just very awkward layout of the bases for ANIbot. Got caught out of position, and then the fact that Spud, Spud's always had a better economy throughout this series, but now it's just unbelievably better. Again, a very nice siege position. This is going to be hard for him to crack. We'll see if he's trying to siege up in range. The Marines are taking the damage for him, so he was able to crack the front siege tank at least. And right now with Spud, like every kill is basically a unit he never has to deal with again. You kill off a siege tank, it's probably not going to get replaced.
Yeah, Spud's had so many siege tanks the whole time too. That's been a big factor of it. It's just been so hard. ANIbot can't break through the siege lines. There's nothing other than the Banshees, which, they do some work, but they keep getting picked off. But yeah, it's just too much. Everything's dying. ANIbot is going to go down in game number 3, it looks like. 90 army supply to 28, but ooh, what a fight.
That's unfortunate.
Very good games. I'm so impressed.
Wall.
Damn you.
ANIbot gonna mess with our good bots here.
Good stuff, though. Well, good job. Well done, Spud. You will be moving on to the next round. And ANIbot, you're going into the junk pile.
Love those tank bio pushes, though, Spud, though. We'll have to see what he's able to do next week.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's some strong play. I really thought ANIbot was going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, I really wish we could have a different game 3 on a different map because, like I was saying, I didn't know who was going to win this. It was so evenly matched. but that was just an overwhelming first fight.
Yeah.
for Spud.
Well, it's unfortunate with something like the map is what's probably most responsible for the loss, not necessarily what you scripted, your build, anything like that. Because it was a phenomenal build out of both the bots and just very strong play. I loved the Banshees. If it had just been a little bit more, maybe could have held off all that. But well done. That's our almost last best of 3. We've got one more coming up. I'm sure. Do we have any replays that we want to look at before we go into our next match? Does not. Yes, we do. All right. Well, we'll get that loaded up for y'all. But yeah, we've got Kagamine versus Snowbot coming up last. So that's going to be a fun one. That's a TVZ, I believe. Snowbot's Terran, right? No, it's ZVZ. I'm sorry.
No,
Snowbot's
he is Zerg.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That would be interesting.
And a very good Zerg, too. The very first time I saw him playing, he was just obliterating my bot. He's very good with lurkers, which is something we don't see a lot out of bots.
Yeah. Oh, just the one.
I feel like it might even be a passing of the torch.
Really?
Like the old god of Zerg, Kagamine, hasn't been updated for a long time. Still really solid, but not really there anymore. To this brand new Zerg that's like, every month getting so much stronger than the previous month.
Will the student become the master? We'll see. All right, well, let's take a look at our bracket one more time here tonight before we go into our last best of 3 in just a minute. This is going to be an exciting one. I like mirror matchups. Yeah, obviously you got a whole demographic of people that just hate mirror matchups, but I've always thought they were a lot of fun. You can really see just some really cool, who's stronger. You both get the same tools. It's very even playing ground. Let's see who can win.
And there's some meta issues with like human mirror matchups that have caused problems in the past
for sure.
that probably don't even apply to bots. I mean, like PvP was all about just like going all in, but that doesn't really apply to bots because bots don't work the same way. So mirror matchups can be quite good.
Well, we'll see how this one goes. Again, ZVZ for our final best of 3. If you haven't yet checked out our community, make sure you check out our forum. You can also check out our Crown Club membership there. We haven't done a member shout out in a while. Can we do a member shout out before our final game here? Now, since we haven't done one because the first one didn't work properly. So before we hop into the game, let's do a shout out to our Crown Club. Felipe, thank you so much for your support. And a big shout out to all the Crown Club members. Again, you can check out our Crown Club membership and see all the cool perks you can get there. But let's go ahead and hop into our last best of 3, our ZVZ, to wrap things up here tonight.
Jax's Kagamine. Spaceman's Snowbot.
We have a very sad lack of bot images. I've noticed at least half of the bots here do not have a submitted graphic, but instead just our generic little bot, which is cute and all. He's great, but bot authors, let's get those images in. Yeah, let's get some cool pictures to represent your bot here, because these bots are worthy of representation. Damn it, they are awesome, and they're doing some cool things. All right, here we go. ZVZ on this map. This is going to be interesting. So yeah, Kagamine, very strong bot, very good at getting up into 3-4 bases. And that's where it really starts to do well. Really likes the Ling play early game. Does a lot with Zerglings. And does a lot very well usually. In ZVZ, I think that's going to be very, very strong for our red Zerg here.
That was very strange. Snowbot sent out a worker right at the start of the game.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's going to be proxy hatch for sure. And then he didn't save up minerals and he just kind of scouted with it. So I'm like, oh, okay. I guess he knows he's going against the hatch first. But that was strange. to send the worker so early in the game.
So now I really do hope this gets at least into the mid game, because Snowbot's special trait, in case anybody didn't know, is Roach Burrow Micro. And we were just talking about that earlier, and how you can kind of see if they're moving, but if they're not, then they're just invisible. So it will be really interesting to see a little bit of Roach Burrow Micro in a ZVZ here. Maybe some Roach hit squads, or I don't know. This could be interesting.
Yeah, and I think we'll get to see Kagamine's Ling Micro really shine here. In previous weeks, we just kind of see him getting overrun by Protoss, so we don't get to see it. But his ability to create surrounds with Zerglings is something that no other bot author does. It's
it's incredible
something to see.
Hey, that'd be perfect against a little clump of roaches.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice
you get like
30
30 Lings versus like 10 roaches and get a nice surround on them. It's
sure.
so much more powerful than just say moving your Lings.
Yeah, I definitely think of all the bots, it has the strongest Ling Micro for sure. All right, well, speed's on the way for both of these bots here. First handful of Lings for Kagamine coming out now. Just, what is it, 2 for Snowbot, just for a little bit of scouting. It's going to need some more,
up
though.
the drone in his base for Kagamine, so no more free scout. And sending one across the map to scout.
And there's the Roach Warren on the way. So, yeah, Snowbot's going to be going into that very soon here. And we'll need to, am I mistaken, needs to get the lair to get the burrow upgrade, right?
No.
Or can you just get it right away now?
Burrow you can get right away. Burrow movement for
it.
roaches is something you need the lair for.
That's right. Movement you need. Okay. So, yeah. And if
but
Snowbot
this could be an issue here. This is a lot of Zerglings, and he's got just 3 and a queen on his side. There's 5 now. 7. Okay, now it's more trickling in. Here comes the second queen to help.
Queen will die.
First queen goes down. Full surround. Oh, this is a lot of damage there, Kagamine. It looks like he might. Yes, second queen goes down as well.
Ooh, barely holds though. All the last bit of DPS went onto that queen, and the 2 Lings from Snowbot that were out were able to help actually quite a bit there. But here comes round number 2, and now there's only 1 queen, but the roaches are popping out. Will they pop out enough? Oh, but here comes the surrounds. Oh, nope, they get out of there. Okay, yeah, too many roaches.
Smart decision.
Yes.
So luckily he is going roaches, so the lack of injects isn't going to hurt him too much. Roaches aren't as larva intensive as the Zerglings are. But yeah, nice little hit squad out of Kagamine there. I think taking out 2 queens for any amount of Zerglings is a good trade in the early game.
Yeah. Well, I'm really hoping we see a lair or something soon, because the extra healing for the roaches, you need Glio or Reconstitution for that too, right?
You get even more healing with that, but any unit that burrows heals quicker.
Oh, really?
Leaving it up. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. 20 years.
Yeah, once you get to Glio Reconstitution, they heal faster than the medevac can heal them. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. And there it is, Burrow. Okay, so yeah, doing some nice little Burrow Micro here. Oh man, this is going to be so strong. I don't think Kagamine has detection, right? No lair even.
It's kind of hard to detect Burrow too. It's not as simple to know when your opponent has Burrow or not.
Well, because as far as Kagamine
like
is
you do
concerned,
with a DT. As soon as you see a DT, it's like I need a detection. But like with the roaches, it's like, oh, I see a roach and now I don't see a roach.
so it's
You
like
don't
a
really
die.
know that it burrowed unless you just some special coding for it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, did you see that?
What did
He burrowed all of his drones because an overlord. flew close
Oh,
to it.
because he thought maybe Baneling drops or something. Maybe that's a Baneling.
It wasn't a dropper lord. It was just a regular overlord. He
Oh,
got
that's
scared
true.
of it.
Yeah. Oh man, maybe it's just there in
It
case
might
anything.
poop creep on me. Everyone get on the ground.
Or it's just a generic. Maybe it sees an air unit and is like, oh, I don't want to lose any drones to oracles or whatever it might be. I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely generic code that was a little too generic.
Yeah. Hey, where it keeps the drone safe from that scary overlord for now. So all's well that ends well. Okay, there we go. So we are going to get some detection here soon, and that's going to play a big part in this, because if there was no detection, yeah, the roaches will just burrow. It's like whack-a-mole. They're going to burrow and disappear as far as Kagamine
And then
is
come
concerned.
back and full
heal
health
up,
again.
and then all of a sudden, yeah, and then there's just more roaches. It's like they just keep coming.
And I think that might have worked, right? He was up against just Zerglings. No Bailing Nest, no Roach Warren, no lair.
Oh yeah,
If he pushed out with that initial set of roaches, I think he could have done a lot of work, especially with Burrow.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the drones doing it again. It is like a wave. As the overlord gets closer and closer, they'll start burrowing each one. It's not like all at once. they start burrowing. They unburrow at the same time, obviously.
Yeah.
Well,
the bot authors actually discussed how powerful sending a dropper lord into your opponent's mineral line would be. Because you'd have to be so scared of bailing drops that you'd have to pull your workers. So what if you just send empty dropper lords at your opponent's worker line? You could like ruin their economy all game long.
Just camp it behind the mineral line like a liberator, essentially.
Yeah, because you have to respect a dropper lord going into your mineral line, and I could see you like completely messing up a bot.
That'd be interesting to see.
A lot of Zerglings. He likes to build a lot of lings and just kind of send them across the map to see what he can spot, and then send them back home again.
Well, if he splits them up, it's going to
roaches, though.
It's going to do great counter damage. But
yeah, see how he runs past the roaches and then engages. It's a nice little micro technique, yeah, to get the pulse around.
Oh, there's the burrow, but detection.
And there's the overseer. Yep.
Say good night, roaches. Yeah, that might just do it. It's 41 army supply to 16. There's so many lings, and obviously in a ZVZ you're not going to have as many wall offs anywhere. Oh,
and he was behind in economy.
Yeah,
so.
this is just it.
Yeah, I think his window was pushing with that initial set of roaches, and he just decided not to do it, unfortunately.
I agree.
For Snowbot.
Yeah, that definitely could have done a lot of damage on the other side. Kept Kagamine from building up this critical mass of Zerglings, because, yeah, there's just too many now. Too many. Here's that late game. Yeah, look at the production tab. Still going strong. Armor upgrades, range upgrades. There's even Glio Reconstitution for Kagamine. Snowbot's the one supposed to be getting that.
He's trying to kill eggs with Zerglings, which just takes forever. At the same time, he's firing Ravager Biles and blowing up his own Zerglings in the process. He's doing everything he can to let Snowbot back into this game. Yeah, there's that burrow micro again, turning off his economy. I guess he keeps the drones alive for a little while.
Yeah, if this Overseer wasn't here, it'd be perfect, because the drones would just be 100% safe. But as it is, Kagamine is just a little too on top of things here.
Yeah. Any Zerg authors in chat, you gotta check to see if he has detection. That's gotta be like the if statement before your burrow. A lot of Zerg bots I've noticed will always burrow all their stuff against an enemy army that has detection.
Yeah, it's like right here. They burrow to heal, but they just die instantly because they can still get attacked. So, yeah. Oh, what a game! Kagamine is still pushing this back. Snowbot did gain a little bit of ground back there, but Kagamine doesn't care. He's just gonna bile everything, even her own Zerglings.
Yeah, I thought it would be a passing of the torch, but yeah, Kagamine is way more advanced than he gets credit for.
Oh yeah.
Just the fact that he hasn't updated his bot for a while and everyone gets to play against Kagamine and like fine-tune their bots, it just looks like that Kagamine is not that great, but in reality he's probably like a top 5 bot for how advanced, like how complex the coding of the bot is.
It's like the dojo master, you know, everybody comes to learn and, you know, fights against Kagamine to practice and to learn, and eventually you outgrow the master. But not in this case. Kagamine is going to take game number 1. Snowbot definitely has a chance in this series here, I'd say, especially if it plays maybe a little bit more aggressively, like you were saying with the roaches, hit that timing. But as it is, man, Kagamine is just so strong. Such a good bot. I love the heavy ling play personally. Obviously, you can get countered pretty quickly, like if instead of roaches, maybe banelings, you know, for our blue Zerg there. But it's going to be an uphill battle, I think. All right, no replays. We're going to be hopping into our next match soon. What are your thoughts here? You look like you got some thoughts.
It looked one-sided, but you got to remember that was pretty lucky for Kagamine. He attacked at the perfect time before the roaches came out and was able to snipe 2 queens and force out a bunch of Zerglings. And then he was weak at the timing after that and got lucky that Snowbot didn't push across the map. Maybe if Snowbot doesn't lose those queens, he gets a couple more injects, makes some more roaches, and then actually does move across the map, but then the whole game would look completely different.
Oh yeah.
Imagine burrowing roaches inside Kagamine's base when all he has is a handful of Zerglings. Yeah, that wouldn't go well for him.
Oh yeah, well I can imagine that. I like it. I'm hoping we get to see a little bit more of that. Hopefully we do get into the movement burrowed roach phase for our blue Zerg there. But yeah, we're going to be hopping into our next game here in 42 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. That's 42 seconds. You can hit the like button if you haven't already. I haven't told you once to do it yet, all stream. So you can do it right now. before we go into our next match, make sure you hit the like button so we get a little more visibility on YouTube. Get more people checking it out, and hopefully, this is a growing scene. We can get more people in here and more people excited about ProBots. There's a long way to go here.
I hadn't actually pressed like myself yet, so thanks.
Oh my goodness, I totally did earlier and didn't just do it right now, even though I reminded myself.
Hey, the number just jumped up by 1.
I'm here to tell you to like it, not to tell me to. Okay. Anyway, game number 2. Let's go ahead and hop into it right now.
Jax's Kagamine. Spaceman's Snowbot.
All right. Where are we now? Everdream. I like this map. This is
another super early scout out of Snowbot. I'm going to call it a scout because it was a scout last time. Maybe Kagamine ordered some takeout minerals and it's getting delivered from Snowbot here, but doesn't look like he's saving up for a proxy hatch.
Was it Larva Hub instead of Grub Hub?
There you go.
Yeah, it was a horrible joke. Don't worry, I'll never make that one again. No, I see this a lot out of scouting workers where they just bring a little mineral offering or something. It's obviously not a huge deal. It's 5 minerals, but it all adds up in the end.
Yeah, but something you can code once, right? Because he's probably means he's also pulling, like, building structures with and losing 5 minerals as well, right?
Oh yeah, especially for Zerg, that could play a big part. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Good point. All right, well, 2 bases for both these bots here. Spawning pool's on the way, and then probably going to see roaches again out of Snowbot. We'll see once Kagamine's got that little ling attack coming across. We'll see the roach warren building. I think we're gonna maybe get a repeat of our last game here. We'll see if Snowbot can make something happen. I really do think the ball is kind of in Snowbot's court in this matchup, where you got to do something with those roaches and slow down Kagamine. Just kill, keep the ling count down. Do something, or else Kagamine is just gonna take over.
I'm just like sitting here silently, just waiting to see what happens because I want to see if it's going to play out the same as last time. Because if any of those timings are just a little bit different, I feel like it can completely change the game.
Oh,
but it's looking to be almost a mirror of the last game. So I know when Kagamine sends his lings across the map, he's usually very non-committal with them. He'll just kind of poke, see what he can get, and as soon as any sort of resistance shows up, he'll retreat. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like a giant ling scout almost.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
If he arrives and sees a queen and maybe 4 lings, then maybe he'll just retreat. Last time he arrived and there was a queen and nothing else, so he's like, free queen, let me take that. He committed to it a little bit more.
Yeah, Kagamine does have pretty good decision making all in all, I'd say. Knows when to engage, when to pull back, when to surround. Yeah, just some phenomenal micro.
Yeah, he's also very advanced with splitting his army. So if you try to attack him in like 3 different places at once, he'll split his army into 3 and go to those 3 locations and defend them.
That's crazy. That's got to be so hard to program in to have it work properly, because even as a human, that's so hard to make that judgment call of, okay, I need this much on this part, this much on this part, or else this will fit, and just to do that well is so hard.
Ooh,
I think.
ZVZ is also really important to have overlords on the attack path, because it gives you so much information. He could be building Zerglings this whole time, and I guess he did catch wind of it, because he could get 8 lings out just a little bit late, but almost in time to fight with the first queen. Still not going well, but better than last game. He will probably save the second queen. Yeah, definitely better than last game. This is actually not terrible for Snowbot. In fact, pretty even.
Yeah, I think the ramp positioning was a little bit better and allowed the Zerglings and queens to kind of group up, because we had the main queen there fighting. Last game, she definitely did not join the fight.
She joined it near the end.
Oh, did she?
Just after
Oh,
the first 2 queens died, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that looks pretty even. He did lose 2
Yeah.
drones. No, 1 drone, sorry, because the one was the scout drone.
Oh, yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad for Snowbot.
Yeah, it's already better. I'm liking the odds here. It just means the roaches are going to be that much more impactful. You know, if they're going to now take less damage because there's less lings to surround them because he held better. So, run,
This
roach!
might get caught out.
Run! Wow. Okay, he does turn and fight at least, so that's good. Oh,
Yeah.
and he burrows. Oh, I didn't know burrow was done. What a save. I was not watching the production tab. Man, that researches so quickly.
Wow. 1 queen goes down. He does have 2 queens and 2 roaches, though. All 4 of those together is going to do quite well versus Kagamine. It does force the cancel on the 3rd. Will rebuild or rebuild it immediately.
It's nice that he canceled, though.
Yeah, and now he's got a roach count that can't be dealt with, and this is where I really hope he pushes across the map. He's in a better spot economically than last time. He has more injects than last time, so maybe that'll be enough
roaches,
to launch
right?
the offensive. Yeah.
Because he didn't lose any so far.
Yeah,
time
I'm thinking
he
last
lost.
game maybe because his roach count was low, he just decided not to do it. I'm hoping this time he does. Like, he went for early roaches. He went for early burrow. You got to think that this is a timing attack, right?
Yeah, I would hope. Well, that's still a lot of Zerglings, and they can still get a pretty good surround on this clump of roaches. Because what, there's 6
But,
roaches?
like no
8?
vision,
Yeah,
no
6
+1.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to get another cancel at least. I do really like that
Yeah.
Snowbot cancels. It's so good. Oh, yeah, there it is. Ooh, this is going to be intense. Snowbot's actually capped at 60 supply right now, and here comes the full surround. Oh, but Kagamine decides to disengage. I feel like that might have been enough to kill those roaches. Like, just
Yeah, it would have been. He would have probably lost all of his links in the process. I don't mind him pulling back there. Like I say, like
Yeah.
these big Zergling packs are often non-committal. They're just kind of to poke and
big
see
scout.
what's there.
Yeah. If they can get damage, great.
Um,
Yeah. This is going to be interesting. Roach Warren on the way for Kagamine to counter. I feel like that's going to be what brings Kagamine into the better position. Is once roaches of her own are out, then yeah, there's just going to be way more army supply. I think. We'll see.
Yeah, and Lings versus Roach is one of those matchups where the upgrade is super, super important. If Lings get +1, they become like twice as good versus Roaches. And
almost
in the
done.
same way, if Roaches get +1 armor, that negates the +1 of the Zerglings.
Mhm.
Yeah, so once this +1 finishes, all of a sudden these Zerglings will become so much better versus Roaches, where right now they're not going to be so hot.
Ooh, that's not a good engagement. Kagamine, oh, taking some really bad engages. Actually fighting some clumps of roaches with just a smattering of links here or there, and it's just going to
Yep.
take a lot of hits. Oof.
+1 is momentarily going to complete, so I don't like that he's throwing away all these Zerglings right beforehand. Okay, there's +1 done.
Okay, so that's enough little. The economy's still really, really strong. Kagamine is on 4 bases right now. Snowbot's only on 2. Yeah, the worker
Oh,
counts are
right.
even, but Kagamine is going to have a lot more larvae. So if the Ling Flood can just keep coming until some roaches can pop out and join it, then I think Kagamine can. I don't know though. This is starting to look pretty good for Snowbot actually. It's a lot of
I
roaches.
don't think I've ever said this before, but this attack is being tanked by creep tumors. He's actually spending a lot of time killing creep tumors and not getting in on there. These roaches are all not
There it
dying
is.
because they're burrowing. I assume they're burrowing. Oh, but there's a detector finally.
Oh, but enough of
Kagamine has all the ingredients now. He has the +1 and he has the Overseer.
Oh, I thought the roaches might get away. Kagamine kind of pulled back, but yeah, the roaches with the lings together for Kagamine is just too much. Well, a few roaches live, but yeah, I don't know.
The
if it's gonna
Overseer
be
pulled
enough.
back, so he wasn't able to finish the mop up.
A little whack-a-mole going on right now. It's my favorite game. Okay, detector's back.
Overseers
We're
are
good.
back, yeah. And at this point, I mean, that 4-base economy, it's been too long with being up at like at least 1 base.
This is a fun little fight, though. I like this. The roach burrow popping out. The overseer keeps leaving for whatever reason, but it's creating a fun little fight here for sure. And actually, a decent little group for Snowbot has accumulated. Snowbot has more army supply right now, and it's mostly in roaches, right?
Yeah, and the other thing is when you burrow roaches, even if they're detected, it lowers their threat priority. So the Zerglings will switch their target to attack a roach that isn't burrowed. So that burrowing roaches is still keeping them alive in some manner.
All in all, it's gone a lot better for Snowbot, but I still don't think it's quite enough. Kagamine.
I don't know about this Ravager Ling combination. He keeps like blowing up his own Zerglings.
They're just there to hold the enemy in place while they get new, because that way the roaches can't kite back out of the bio.
Man.
200 IQ.
You ever
there.
seen like 2v2 games where one guy goes Zerglings and the other guy goes Siege Tanks? And then the Siege Tanks just blow up all of your own. Like that's what it's reminding me of here.
Yeah, it's pretty similar for sure.
I mean,
I like
I
the
thought
Hydra
at this point in the
edition.
game I'd be calling the game, but you know, these units are staying alive when they burrow. The Zerglings are not doing so hot. Going up to 5 bases now for Kagamine though. Almost 50% more workers. I mean, yikes.
Can we get a look at the resources lost tab? I'm curious to see who's been trading better, because Kagamine has been getting some really good engagements, but also has been losing a lot of Zerglings, just kind of here and there. Not enough to really affect anything too much, to the point where Snowbot's pushing into the mineral line stuff. Okay, so yeah, units lost. Kagamine has definitely lost a little bit more here with 187 wings. That is a lot. But, oh, he's pushing through, though. She's doing it. Will Kagamine be able to break the base? Here we go. The drone burrow trying to save some of the workers, but the Overseer is here. Oh, did you just bile his Overseer? Oh, no, the Hydras have been hitting it. That's right. I thought he'd been biling his own Overseer, too. That'd be hilarious. Killed that.
That unit lost tab reminds me of a game I had against Kagamine where he killed me, but he had a bug where he stopped taking gas geysers, so he only had minerals for the rest of the game versus my Sky Terran. And it ended up being a draw, and it ended up being like 40,000 Zergling kills.
Jeez.
He mined out the entire map and sent Zerglings at me until there was no minerals left.
Yeah, if you think about how many minerals are on a map, that is a lot of Zerglings.
Yeah, there's 40,000 Zerglings worth of minerals on the map, apparently.
Jesus Christ. That's awesome. Do you have that replay? We should do like a special highlight or something. That's funny.
I might. I probably don't. It's probably buried somewhere, though, on AI Arena. They still have the replays available.
Oh, I love the lurkers out. Yeah, sorry we neglected talking about what's going on here, but there are lurkers for Snowbot out. It's a
I mean, his
addition,
composition.
It's just not enough.
Yeah, and he does have Ravagers, right? Ravager battles are very good versus Zerglings, even though Zerglings aren't that great. Actually, Zerglings are probably okay versus lurkers if there's no meat shields. They get a nice surround, and then the spines can't hit them en masse anymore.
Yeah, as long as they're not clumped up in front of it, I guess. Yeah, if you start getting around the lurker, because the lurker can only shoot in one direction, so.
Yeah, you think of it as splash damage, but not against melee units, not really.
Yeah. Oh. Well, here it is. Kagamine is going to be able to seal the deal here with a nice 2-0. A nice little fight, though. Snowbot definitely did much better this round, but just not enough. And will be sent to the junk yard and repurposed for next season, hopefully. But Kagamine, you're moving on. Congratulations. Good stuff.
That was a good game. That was a little surprising. I'm happy to see Kagamine smash someone. It's been a little while. I'm always talking him up as like, oh, he's got this great control with the Zerglings and stuff, and then you just one base all in and you get one. Okay. He's not looking as strong as I think he is, but
well, and,
we finally got to see some nice Kagamine highlights there.
Oh, for sure. And a fun fact about Kagamine, too, it's one of the, I believe, the only bot in this round of 16 anyway, that is Java. Most of them are Python. We've got Micro Machine, who's C++, and then Kagamine, which is a Java bot. So that's kind of cool. Just gets another language in there, a little more representation. Do you do Java?
My bot's Java as well, and it would not be where it is today without the help of HJax and looking at Kagamine's source code for reference.
Awesome.
Java is very not documented well, so having someone like HJax in the community was very useful to me.
Okay. So would you say why do you like Java better, I guess, than Python? Do you think it's more versatile? Is it easier for you? Just knowing
now like having the knowledge now, I would definitely would have started in Python over Java. But at the time, I'm just like, hey, we can make bots and you can choose one of these 8 languages. So I just like, okay, I like Java. I'm familiar with it. Let me try Java. And that was not an informed decision. There's many headaches I've had to work through to get my bot where it's at. Yeah.
Well, you're committed now. But anyway, we are going to be seeing your bot next week, I believe. we're going to be moving into the upper bracket. But here is the lower bracket we just went through today. Our bots moving on. Our ThreeWayLover, our Protoss. We've got WorthlessBot, Zerg. We've got Terran for Spud, and then another Zerg for Kagamine. Wait, Spud's Terran, right? Yeah. So very cool. And then, you're going up next week against Spiny. That should be fun. We're going to see Micro Machine next week. We're going to pull the bracket up right here. Take a little look at it.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Micro Machine versus Tier, I'm super happy about because I'm certainly not going to beat Micro Machine, but Tier can beat Micro Machine. He's done it in the past. He's done it on the ladder. If there's one person who has like a special build, like he's got like 600 special builds.
Yeah, a lot.
You can find one that can work versus Micro Machine.
That is going to be
actually Micro Machine.
Match.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think I'm the favorite there. So against Spiny. So if Micro Machine makes it past Tier, he'll be facing the other bot that took him out in last year's ProBots, which would be Spiny. Mm-hmm. So he's facing his two Nemesis in the next 2 rounds, most likely.
Interesting. So are you going to try to win or lose then your next match, depending on? Because I guess you don't know who's going to win.
I'm going for the win.
You're going to go for the win.
It's been a motivating week because I know I don't beat Spiny.
Yeah.
But I've made a lot of progress this week, so I'm cautiously optimistic that it'll at least be a series.
You feel better going up against Tier though, right? Or do you?
Over Micro Machine, yeah, for sure, 100%. Everyone will say that against whichever bot it is versus Micro Machine.
Safe bet.
Make sure you got a nice glass of water for next week though, because if there's one bot that I have long drawn out battles against, it's Spiny. We've had some games go super late game, so.
I'm excited. It's going to be fun to watch. Well, be sure you all tune in next week to catch that. It will be here on ESChamp, same time, same place, 7:30 Eastern. Be sure to come check out our games next week. Big shout out to our Crown Club members. Let's go ahead and shout one more out here before we wrap things up tonight. Thanks for all being here, everybody. Let's go ahead and run one. Thank you, Raphael, for your support and for being a Crown Club member. Again, you get some pretty cool perks being a Crown Club member, and it goes a long way to support ESChamp and future seasons of ProBots, which, if you're an aspiring bot maker, be sure you start making a bot because there are a lot of resources available. There's some cool Discords you can join. There's the AI Arena, which just did their first official season, which led into ProBots here. So definitely go check all of that out. I'm sure somebody's going to post the links here in the there it is in the YouTube chat. What else we got? You can hit the like and subscribe button while you're here on YouTube as well. If you have not already, be sure to do that. And you can also get, what else? Oh, I'm missing something. Oh, our forum. That's what I'm missing. Check out our forum. It's a great place to stay up to date with ProBots and ESChamp in general, and kind of just talk to other members and see what's going on. You can get schedules there. You can get the brackets there. You can get pretty much everything there. So go check that out. And Ketrock, are you streaming these days or just busy building bots?
A little bit here and there. I actually did my first coding stream the other week.
Nice.
I did like my first version of trying to dodge fungal, and by the end of the stream, it didn't turn out so well, but it was better than nothing, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see if that comes into play ever, because again, we don't see a lot of infestors, but.
Well, there's a reason I'm coding it, and that's because we're playing Spiny next week.
Oh, are we going to see some fungals?
See, I make very clumped up air units, and he makes a lot of parasitic bomb and fungal growth. So,
all right, well,
the combination of those is not
I can see why you think you're going to get your bot beat there a little bit.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. All right, well, everybody, tune in next week to check out those games again here on ESChamp, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Tune in, and we'll see you there. And that's it for tonight. So everybody have a good night. Thanks for being here, and we'll see y'all next week.
See you guys.